Okay, hey guys, welcome to the live hour. I should probably use this one here, I guess. Better turn off my fan as well. You guys know I've been working the 12 to 8, so I've raced home, did many things in that time, including eating chicken nuggets. I know your guys' election is going on over there, Sharon. And so, like, we don't really talk politics, but I'll just ask you, is the person that you wanted that's so far leading the poll, is that the person you're wanting, or hell no? Um, I know that everyone at work, and don't forget, if anyone's watching right now, I'm Canadian. Oh, hey, where's my thing? I forgot to put my freaking branding on. Uh, my bad, my bad. There we go. Now I don't feel so naked on there. But at work, I can tell you, I think I was the only person that was saying that Trump was going to win. Everyone else was voting for or wanted Carmela to win. That's from the Canadian Senate. I'm coming. Just need a bit. Okay, CD, no problem on that. Thank you so much. Um, Obviously, and Travis was something like to. I think whether he comes on or not, I'm not sure because anyways, if he was talking to Charmaine, and I just said, well, hey, if you want to pop on tonight as well, feel free. Either way, get up there, City. He'll get up here. My son voted for Kamala. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's quickly say hi, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I've lived off of about 2 hours sleep, and I've really been doing it to my own self. But it's really hard too. And my husband gets up at 4:30 in the morning, absolutely exhausted. Gaming and sleuthing, which is Melissa. She was on here last night. Again, biggest hugs to you guys. Obviously, thank you so much for joining us as well last night and giving us, of course, your input on what happened there. Just really appreciate that. Okay, just want to say that. You guys, if you guys saw in the intro, you guys have noticed that I've taken down Aspen Connor from the intro as well as on the thing, but I'm not going to get into that today. I don't want to really want to talk about that stuff right now, but I will let you guys know, exactly why. But at the end of the day, regardless about how I feel, Aspen Connor has been a very vital, friend in my life for like the last 3 or so years. And it's just that I think it was time that we went our separate ways, especially after what has transpired that I don't really know about, but with the whole Delphi, a very important case that we've been covering for like the last 3 years. Obviously, I'm not really sure what's going on with Aspen Connor, all in all, fully, because he's not really messaged me. But, anyways, not really going to get into that tonight. At the end of the day, I will always wish him the best because, he does have a channel. And, just like Deb's growing her channel and stuff like that, it's just one of those things at the end of the day. And it was just, it was better for me to decide that based on what's the non-coverage of Delphi coverage. And so, again, I just want to say, Melissa, um, thank you for coming in and telling us about the last couple of days. Again, you make us feel like you're right in there in the courtroom with you. So I just want to do say I really absolutely appreciate that. So hello everyone. And yes, I'm so glad you got some sleep. You really, really needed it. Hi Ben, how are you? Sweet? There you Ben, I'm just there you go. Stop. Yeah, I know you're always flirting with me. I guess it's time for me to flirt back a little bit. Doesn't Ben remind you in his pictures of John F. Kennedy Jr.? All those in favor say aye. Aye. On there. Hi, Lizette. How are you? Glad to see you guys tonight. Um, Sharon Parker. I love you. Hugs. Hope you're feeling okay tonight. Let's see. Watching the election, right? Um, it looks like it, isn't it? That my green screen's making my neck look black or gray right there. Whatever. Don't care. uh, Obviously, Streamlabs is in the house, so just always remember your punctuation, or it says that you're dropping a link on there. But there aren't any a lot bigger trials like I can cover that are close to me. Yeah, next thing you know, Melissa, you're going to be turning boots on the ground. Anyways, again, just appreciation. CD should be joining us shortly. And because we're going to talk about the case as much as we can while you guys aren't looking at maybe elections going on. You guys, in the United States, your election is way, like 99.9% crazier than us over here in Canada. You guys are we're like 35 million. You guys are like 350 million, if not 400, somewhere around there. Anyways, I know how much you guys, the election and stuff means to people. Um, to the point of a little bit crazy, to be honest with you. Some of the stuff that I've seen, it's like crazy what people do. Like it's like you can't wear a Trump hat if you're in a certain restaurant because somebody gets pissed off. I haven't really seen like that part. Kind of throws me off a bit that people get that mad about somebody else voting for somebody else. Anyways, whatever. You guys do you over there. I'll just be meek and mild over in Canada here. Give me something, maybe one that isn't so high profile. You don't have to. Yeah, absolutely. Hi, Justice Jane. How are you? Hi, KCL. How are you? Um, I think our country is worse now than 4 years ago. Is why I voted for Trump. Yeah. Again, whoever you voted for, you know, uh, to be honest with you, whoever you voted for, well, if they turn out to be the person you picked, then great. And if not, then sorry, must suck for you then. Because I know that like you guys have your, uh, West Coast, East Coast, and then you have your swing states in there. That's sad, Sunny. Yes, bright life, right? It's life at the end of the day. Um, yes, thank you, Ms. Hi, Sunny. Sorry, unrelated. Had no idea you're from Canada. Just curious if it's true that Canadian healthcare is a scam. I heard isn't good because you pay all back and pays taxes. Well, that's an absolute lie. Whoever told you that must have been somebody that's not a Canadian. And if they are, then they're dumber than shit, and they shouldn't even be in Canada. Absolute scam. We have free healthcare. We don't have to sit there and pay for it. Um, we don't have to pay it in taxes and stuff like that, meaning taxes happen regardless. We have way better healthcare than you guys could ever dream to have over there in the United States. Unfortunately, I only wish that you guys could have the same healthcare that we have over here. So no, it's kind of like anything. You pay your taxes on stuff regardless, but it's absolutely not a scam. It's free healthcare. You can't. We used to have to pay for it before, and when I say pay for it, I'm talking about our basic personal health care. We used to have to put out like 60 to 100 and something dollars a month for, family plans or single plans. So whoever told you that is absolutely wrong. You know, I'd rather have our health plan than your guys' health plan any day. England's the same way, same thing. And hello, Gibbo. Ben, you're cheating. I sang Michael Jackson to you. I do love Michael Jackson, I've got to say. Um, yeah, so I mean, kind of like we all have our things, eh? So there's certain great things about the U.S. and there's really certain bad things about the U.S. and there's really good things about Canada and certain things. But we're just a small, big country in a sense. Small because the population is, but we have mass land. We have a ton of trees. I heard lawyer Lee say that a lot of the juror questions appeared they were pro prosecution, with one or two of the questions being pro defense. Interesting. Honestly, KCL, I honestly haven't heard. Now, KCL, I want to put this out there, and to anyone that is a regular of this channel. If anyone ever says, Sonny, can I come sit beside your ass up there on the live and talk about the Delphi case? Absolutely. That's extended to you, KCL. That's extended to Justice Jade. If anyone literally, like, all I'm asking is that you don't be a Fruit Loop, or a loony bin, okay? Because there's too many of those. But for the people that are absolute regulars of the channel, if you guys, hey, say, Sunny, I want to come up there on your panel with you, feel free to email me at theacrimingshame@gmail.com and let me know, okay? And there's CD. Uh, hey,
What's
buddy.
up? How's everybody doing?
Good, good, good.
How are you?
Hey,
Listen, I've been trying to get on with you. It's just been a little crazy.
yeah.
Juggling sick kids. I'm battling a little congestion, just the usual week.
Oh,
You know how it
mm,
goes. You
yes.
can't hear my TV in the background, right? I'm just
No, I
listening to
can't.
the coverage, but I got it
Yeah.
on really low. This has
Mm.
been one hell of a night with this election. I just can't wait till it's all over. I know everybody from the U.S. feels the
Okay.
same way, probably in chat.
I was going to say, so I know we don't like to go too much into politics, so nobody
I
get your.
voted for Trump. I'll tell you, I voted for Trump. I'm
I was going
done.
to
I
say,
mean, these last 4 years should tell everybody something, and she's just not a good candidate. I might be Republican, but I'm more. I think I'm more independent. I
yeah,
really am these days, but it's just enough is enough. The bleeding has to stop. It's just feeding my house of five is like $700 a week.
yeah,
That's crazy. That's
it is.
crazy. It's
It is.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
bananas. That's exactly what it is. It has to stop. And
Well,
no joke, my utility electric bill, electric and gas, is up double from what it was 3 years ago. It's alarming. It's alarming, is what it is. So that's where my vote comes from.
yeah. Well, I
This
was
is what
going
it
to
is.
say, you know, I know that people get their panties in a pinch if we talk about
Yeah,
politics too much, but honestly, I'm just a person that can talk about whatever. I take no offense to
yeah,
anything, and like somebody else's opinion. Like if somebody doesn't like Trump or they don't like Kamala, type of
yeah.
thing. I think that people can always have adult conversations without it getting stupid. Um,
Yeah, I don't argue with people. I'm done with it. But
yeah,
I mean, a very close family member of mine is a huge liberal and voted for Trump because they just had enough. I think
yeah,
that if Biden stayed in, that person would have voted for Biden and their family would have voted for Biden. But the guy was cooed. I mean, no matter which way you cut it, he was shoved aside. You know,
yeah, yep, yep,
so
yep, yep,
it
yep,
is what it is. But I
yep.
mean, on Delphi, it's been I think a week since we talked. Let me tell you, this trial is insane. I told you, like, and I know they brought up a firearms expert today to counteract. Firing around and racking around through is not the same science. I said apples to oranges, and that's exactly what was said on the stand today, because it is. It's not the same. You're talking about an explosion that happens inside the barrel of that gun to fire a round out. It's not the same realm. It's just not.
CD, make sh- tell people who you are.
I'm retired law enforcement, New York State. Started in New York City in 2001 as a rookie. I was at 9/11 for 2 months. Have had many friends that have come down with an illness, cancer related. I lost, I think altogether out of my academy class, 10 or 11 have passed away from 9/11 related things.
Mm,
Then I transferred within the county outside of New York City, and I was in special investigations. So any major crime, I investigated.
yeah.
We had a double murder. Even when I was a rookie, right out of the New York City Academy, we had a mob hit. Some guy,
Mm,
mafia, got out of the car with a 45 and blasted the guy right on the sidewalk. I was first on the scene. I've seen everything. I've seen everything you could possibly see.
I know,
And
right?
I've told you from the beginning, this case was heartbreaking because and as the onion peels, you just see how bad this investigation was, and it's just
Yeah.
pathetic. It's really
Well,
pathetic.
I was going to say, CD, let me play this 4 minute clip
Yeah,
here,
yeah,
and then we'll get right into the Delphi and
yeah.
your thoughts and everything.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I'll take us off screen for a sec, and we'll play this.
Other news now on this election day. To the north in Delphi, the Delphi murders trial, multiple people taking to the witness stand today,
including a digital forensic examiner who shared brand new information in court this afternoon.
Samantha Johnson is heading up our coverage live in Delphi tonight. And Sam, I know it's been a long day for you. You've been in the courtroom all day today. Let's start with this new digital information that came out today.
Yeah, and Anne and Felicia, this is the most new information too I can give you. It comes from a former FBI forensic examiner. Her name is Stacey Eldridge. She was on the stand today for almost 2 hours inside the courtroom. She says she reviewed digital data pulled by Indiana State Police from Libby German's phone around the time the girls went missing. But this examiner says she went digging and she did her own data too, and she found even more information. So she says using the same data state police had access to years ago, she discovered someone inserted a headphone jack into Libby's phone at 5:45 p.m. on February 13th. That headphone jack was then removed at 10:32 that same night. And Eldred says just milliseconds before the headphone was inserted, Libby's phone was ringing. So what's the big deal here? We know Libby's phone reportedly stopped tracking movement around 2:32 on the 13th. And we've known the phone was not responding to cell towers from 5:45 on the 13th until the early morning hours on the 14th. But this information about the headphones is the first time we've ever heard about someone else possibly interacting with Libby's phone. Now, the defense went on to say if the phone was stationary, if it was at the crime scene this whole time, why would it disconnect from cell service for hours and then suddenly reconnect at 4:33 in the morning the next day? Well, Eldridge said she found no digital evidence of what could have gone wrong, and she suggested something external happened. She said either the phone was moved or the signal was blocked. Now, today inside the courtroom, the Carroll County prosecutor, Nicholas McLeland, he pushed back a little bit. He said, had you ever been to the crime scene? Do you know what the cell service was like the day that we are talking about this data, February 13th, 2017, alluding to the fact that they likely had poor cell service, and maybe it's more feasible that the phone just lost service for all of those hours too. Anne-Marie and Felicia, one of the most important topics that came out of today's testimony from Allen's attorneys.
So that's really interesting because it seems like you'd have to have some expertise to block the signal from a phone, wouldn't you, Sam?
Yeah, and she was asked about that too. The prosecutor asked, well, wouldn't someone have to have some kind of device or some kind of tool with them to help block that? And she said, yeah, they likely would. So there was a little bit of pushback in some of her testimony earlier today. It's also important to mention that was just one of the witnesses the defense called today. We also heard from a psychiatrist who specializes in solitary confinement, memory, and false confessions. And then we heard from a forensic scientist who works in firearm and crime scene reconstruction, a few of the very key issues that have been brought up time and time again in this case. We'll break down what else we've learned coming up tonight at 6.
All right, our coverage continues throughout the news tonight.
So there we go. Okay. Okie dokie on there. And thanks to you, everyone that's come in. Please hit that like button if you guys don't mind, and hit the share button if you could as well. Would it be appreciated? So CD. Okay. Okay, you know what? Just say your thoughts on the case and how you see that it's going, and anything, and then get into stuff about today and stuff like that. Anyways, just go ahead and start with it.
Well, I think the defense is doing an excellent job. You know, I know the confessions and everything else, but the defense, I believe, has done a great job with showing psychosis. And I told you about that since the confessions came out, because anybody treated the way I mean, I don't know too many people that are going to fake anything and eat their shit. Literally, that's what he did. You know that. You know, he was eating his shit.
Yeah, me and you.
You know what that
disagree on this
takes?
part.
Well, we could. That's fine. We could. I mean, we could
Yeah.
disagree. I just don't know.
I just want to hear your thoughts, but yeah, go ahead.
I told you I had a guy that we had to keep in our local jail that we never really housed anybody long term, but they had there was people, there were gangs that had hits on him because he rolled on people after having 2 kilos of cocaine in his taxi cab. And stayed in our cells for months, and he was treated amazing because I told you he helped me get more heroin off the case when we brought the guys in. He heard the guys talking how one of them dug behind them when they were sitting in the dirt and took heroin out of their crack and dug it in the dirt. We got him lobster dinner. We really took care of this guy. And he started to go into a psychosis for he's locked up 24 hours a day. You know, they took him outside for maybe a half hour, like just to move around, but he was up 24 hours a day. And he was losing his mind. He even had a TV. Long term, it does cause issues. And listen, I'm not saying that, you know, I don't know if the jury's going to find him guilty. That's on them. I just think the defense is doing an excellent job with the case. I told you that the unspent round being fired for them to make it fit, that's a puzzle that just doesn't fit together.
Oh, so when it comes to that, so this is where I'm gonna also, like, just as we talk through the different things. So where I stand with this, my personal self, is that, do I feel like someone can go into psychosis? Do I feel like someone can lose their shit in being confined and, you know, be trapped in their cell, and, you know, like, and you're with your own thoughts, and, you know, your head's playing tricks on you? Yes. Okay. Do I believe that to be true? Yes, but do I
Wait, let me make
believe?
one more statement though. Also, my other issue is you had somebody who was seeing him every day. His main contact, this therapist or doctor, who could have been manipulating him. I'm just saying hypothetically.
I know what
She
you're
was on
saying.
Facebook. She was on message boards. She was all in for the Delphi case, and she's the one meeting him. It's just like every piece that the prosecution has, it's tainted. There's just tainted pieces to everything that goes along with it. Not saying Richard Allen didn't do it. That's not for me to
Right.
decide anymore. But
Mhm.
everything is just, why can't anything just be clean? You know, it's like the tainted
Yeah.
fruit. It's just like everything is just there's nothing there's nothing pure, you know, going through. That's, you know,
Well, so I was gonna say, so going
none
back
of
to
the
me,
girls could say that, you know, when you're that's the man I saw on the bridge. That's the man I saw on the trail. There's none of that.
no,
There's been none of that.
well, they did say that, but they just,
None of the girls said that that's the
yeah,
guy.
yes, yeah, but they couldn't say
Who?
that it was Richard Allen.
That's what I'm saying. That they couldn't say that that was
They
Richard
said that
Allen.
that's a guy that they saw, but that's different than them saying that that's Richard Allen.
Exactly.
You know, so
And
and right,
now you have Weber bring up that he drove the van that day, but yet he was away for 3 days and had 35 ATM machines that had to be serviced and money put in. You know,
so oh,
it's
okay,
like that's my whole problem with all of this is even it coming down to the tip. I told you where I feel the tip came from because it just coincides with 4 days after that debate. They're interviewing Richard Allen. You know, it's all just, you know, too much.
well, I think for me the whole thing boils down to this: did Richard Allen do it? Did he confess? Yes, he did. He absolutely confessed to the exactly about the van, exactly about that. Do I believe in those confessions that he did? Absolutely. Do I think that he's playing an act? Absolutely, to go with that too. Do I believe that he's probably fucking acting like a crazy Looney Tune? And is it legit at times? Absolutely. Do I think that some of it's bullshit? Absolutely. Now, so my thing is that I don't like, for me, I don't personally like, as for this whole psychology back and forth between doctors saying that, oh yeah, in a state of psychosis, bottom line is, to me, he confessed. There's so much there that he said that he did, and on top of that, confessing to his mother. Would an idiot confess 61 times all out of psychosis, and yet he can work a normal job, he can sit there, and it all comes into play? So I don't believe.
Yeah, but you're discounting his interrogations.
Say it again.
You're discounting his interrogations where he never broke and he was pushed to the limit in those interrogations, especially the second one. And he never
Yeah,
broke. He was more just concerned about getting his wife out of there. You know?
see, I see it differently, but I understand, CD, because you're a police officer, and so obviously, like, you work in the field of dealing with people and
We
this
played
whole,
psychological games with suspects all the time. You know?
right.
It's my
So,
only issue on the confessions is how this man was treated inside that jail. And at the end of the day, it's going to come up to me, the jury has asked excellent questions to every witness that the defense has put up.
yeah,
And
like,
the way most of those questions are leaning is like just they're trying to get they're trying to confirm to themselves what they're feeling from that, you know, from each testimony.
such defense. Yeah, it's just like I said.
I
I
don't
know.
think that squashes the defense. I mean, you're doing a Google. It was supposedly plugged in for 6 hours. Do I think somebody was at the scene for 6 hours from 5:43 p.m. to
No.
10:50 or whatever? I don't. But at the
Uh,
end of the day, it's kind of that it was showing that something plugged into the aux
well,
port.
if you actually Google iPhones, they say that that's a very common issue, that an iPhone acts
I mean,
like it.
sometimes you can plug one in, take it out, and it
Mhm,
doesn't register, and it registers later. I mean, there's could be
mhm.
many reasons.
Right. And I
You know,
believe
there could be
Libby had
many
her,
reasons.
yeah, I do believe Libby had her headphones with her, like her pods or whatever with her, or earbuds or
Yeah,
whatever.
back then
Um,
you would use the plug-in
but
ones.
do I think that the body moved? Do I think that the phone
No,
moved and
I don't
somebody was
either.
there?
And
Absolutely
I know there's
no.
people that are still saying that Abby wasn't killed right there. Like they're just, it's just wackiness. It's pure wackiness.
You know, right? So
That's
it
where
just,
they died. I mean, I don't know why they don't want to accept that. That's where they died. That's just what it is. You know,
yeah, I believe so. Oh, there he is.
that's the spot.
Yeah. And Travis, if you want to come up, I did send you the link to your email, by the way. So yeah, so it's just like I said, we see things differently about the whole
Yeah,
confessions
that's
and
okay.
whatever.
That's okay.
And that's absolutely okay. At the end of the day,
It's gonna be on the
so
jury, you know.
you know what my thing is this. It goes from this case has been botched and so much
Yeah,
negligence and
yeah.
so to this
But
whole case.
it's just my biggest problem's just been, and for years I gave them benefit of the doubt until pieces started coming out. Now you hear Doug Carter finally admit what I've been saying, that they pushed the FBI aside. They did.
Mm,
People like, oh,
they
the
did,
U.S.
yeah.
Marshals are there. Yeah, the U.S. Marshals are there because they wanted some federal agency there. That's why they
Mm,
used the U.S. Marshals at the end. They got rid of the FBI, and the problem I think was the FBI we know was fixed on Ron Logan. They were.
mhm.
You had Coffin Daffer still talking about it when Richard Allen got arrested. I got to be honest, she's putting it out there like Richard Allen's innocent. And that's
Who
what
is Coffin Dapper?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at her tweets.
Well, I
Oh,
mean, she
she's
put out
aiming
that
at.
Ron Logan was BG. So what do you think? Like, I
Well,
mean,
my issue with that is what are her ties to the FBI agents like Nicole Robinson, who wrote up his Ron Logan search warrant? I just think that that's a case she shouldn't be touching because of the way they were pushed aside out of that case. They were adamant that it was Ron Logan, that his search warrant basically
mhm.
they framed that for an arrest warrant after for
Oh
probable
yeah.
cause, but they just found nothing. I can't
So
listen to her either, but people do. The problem is people do. People give so many voices that should be voiceless.
yeah. Um, Coffin Dapper, I actually haven't been paying
CJK,
attention.
I don't. I got to be honest. From the injuries, I don't think it's a box cutter. I just think that because he said that in one of his confessions, that after I guess it was one of the doctors that said it could have been I don't believe those injuries came from a box cutter. I've seen the worst stabbings you could ever imagine. I've seen one where the mother was stabbed, I want to say 35 times. And the way those blows are described, I believe it was a true knife that was used,
I
not a
don't believe it. Well, I don't necessarily believe it
especially
was like box
Abby's
cutter.
one strike. The one strike she got to her neck, to me, that's blunt force trauma from a serious knife, not from a box cutter. And I've seen many of I've seen stabbings where they live, but I've seen them all. But I just don't think a box cutter did that.
You know what? That's one thing that bugs me too about the box cutter. Could be true, might be true.
I don't believe it is.
I don't feel like it's a box cutter. I feel like he came there
That
with
was
his
that was to me that
a
was
knife.
reaching at straws because he used it in his
Yeah,
in one of his confessions that he threw it in the in the dumpster
that's
behind
probably
CVS.
a confession. I don't believe, to be honest with you.
I mean, he also said the devil did it. Listen, it's
Well,
like anything else. People's state of mind can make them do crazy shit,
you know,
and we just don't. They didn't give us the full dates of each confession, and they did that for a reason.
well, the thing with that is that he confessed on April 3rd to his mother and his
Yeah,
wife, okay, and then he did more. Okay,
yeah.
that
But he was in there
second
5.5
chapter.
months, Sonny. He was in there 5.5
Pardon?
months. They were giving him medication. They were shooting up with medication because they felt he was losing his
Yeah.
mind. And then they said that he wasn't losing his mind. But what do you treat? Why are you treating with medication if he wasn't losing? You know what I'm saying? It's just everything has a counteract with this case. It's nothing. The unspent round is nonsense. That is, I'm sorry, it's not. When you shoot a gun, okay, when you fire a bullet, there is an explosion that takes place for the bullet to come off of the shell casing and fire out of the barrel, and at the same time that the shell casing is being ejected. It is totally different force than you force feeding a rack. So it's junk science. I said that 2 weeks ago, and then you had the guy get up there today and said it's apples to oranges, and that's exactly what it is.
Well, CD, do you believe that Richard Allen is the bridge guy or no?
You
Like,
heard it was
besides,
yesterday. It was yesterday when I guess somebody they wanted to call but couldn't call.
yeah,
He said
you're
that
talking about.
remember when I always said from the beginning before Richard Allen was arrested, to me, this is 2 to 3 people, up to 5 or 6, depending on roles. That's exactly what one of the guys that was on the task force said. And I'm only saying that because that's, it's very hard to control two people by yourself. This guy had a heart condition. Same time, if he used the gun, could he have done it himself? Yes. He could. But what fits more to that puzzle?
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I was just going to say, for me, it's like, if they put a Ford Focus in front of that camera at the same time that he claimed he was there, okay, I'm looking at that attachment. If he said he was there from 1:30 to 3:30, he said it twice. The girls saw a guy dressed in blue. He admits to wearing the same clothes, right? And then we have the gun, which regardless at all, he still owns a 40 caliber. And there happens just to be a 40 caliber
So does
gun.
Brad Weber, and his gun was supposedly
Brad
inconclusive.
Weber didn't put himself at the crime scene at 1:30 to 3:30.
Well, he said he pulled in his house at 2:30, right? And then he napped. Always remember when people say they're sleeping when a crime is committed, okay? He said he was sleeping at 2:30 to 5 o'clock when they knocked on his door. The two girls were missing. But he wasn't, taking care of servicing his ATMs before that,
Well, that's the thing, but he says he wasn't. So what is true now?
I think in the FBI affidavit, it says that he was servicing them. That's why they wanted the FBI agent to know that he can't fly due to health condition.
They want him remotely.
They won't let him go. She struck down on it yesterday. She's not letting him testify.
Do you think
the FBI agent isn't allowed to testify?
Right. Do you think that?
And in that report, supposedly it says that Brad Weber said he went and serviced his ATMs because he was away for 3 days.
But do you think that Brad Weber had anything to do with the Delphi murders?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying he has the same gun.
Right.
And it was inconclusive if he matched the unspent round. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that there's 3 models that we know. I believe it's 3 models of the same SIG. We know the other one from Bicycle Bridge Road. It's just funny how 3 people right there have the same gun, And it took them firing it to match striation marks. No, it's just junk science.
I got to change this thing. It's too big. Oh, there we go. Woo, yeah. I was like, this thing was hogging up your face pretty much whenever I put a comment up.
Yeah,
it must have been Aspen when he was playing around with things, because when he was tinkering around when he makes videos, sometimes he was like doing that. But anyways, okay, so no, Justice Jane, I think it was that asked, but no, CD is.
Somebody said Justin Jane said True Crime Web did a test with the box cutter on pig parts. Well, did he get a 2-inch? Did he get a 2-inch big bludgeon mark when he used the box cutter? Mm-hmm. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't even know that necessarily he believes that it's a box cutter himself. Like, I don't really know. I only watched a little bit of it.
Brad Weber didn't say. No, I'm not saying Brad Weber said he was on the bridge. I'm just saying that his story changed. His story changed when he spoke to the FBI. He gave a different story, and his story changed. That's all. If your story changes, that's a different scenario. Nothing yet.
Yeah, Brad Weber didn't say. Yeah, I think that was just more about the gun for CD than it was about him being Brad Weber on the bridge or anything like that. At the end of the day, defense, I feel, is doing a good job with creating.
They're doing their job. I mean, people hate the defense, but they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to discredit everybody, and that's what they're doing. They're doing their job well. Right,
and then it just really becomes a matter of, are they going to believe that Richard Allen was in such a state that he, meaning, so based on what the shitty, not, and I don't mean to blame this on Nick McClelland because it's really not his fault. It's the fault of the LE, and we want to come and call him dumbass Doolin.
Look at Holman. Holman yesterday took pictures with people outside the court, and he took a picture with Greeno. The guy's got an active warrant. It's just a banana. It's just a banana police department. With
Kathy Allen sitting there with Tweedledee and Tweedledummer.
Yeah, that's weird too.
That's weird too. Have Holman sitting there, with freaking Marv and Greeno, and you're just like, is this a fucking what? Is this a celeb event or something like that going on? Hey, I don't know. It just seems a little.
But this is where this case is real, and people don't treat it as such.
Yeah.
That's that's just the problem. No, pigskin
Yeah.
is like ours. I'm talking about the size of the mark that she had a 2 inch. She was bludgeoned 2 inches on her neck. Fragments, services, ATMs, goal is terrible for not. Yeah, I agree. Stefan, there's no, if the man has a health condition, he's a decorated current, he's still a current FBI agent, and they wouldn't let him testify to the report he took from Brad Weber. That's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous when you think about how stupid that is. But that's just the games that Gulls played. There's no reason he shouldn't have been allowed to testify. Because he's also one of the other reasons was he's
I'm still
overseeing
here,
San
Judy.
Antonio election.
I'm still here.
So he's he's in charge of an election area, and he
If
has a
the
health
pros-
condition. He can't fly.
If the prosecution would have asked for this, she would have allowed it.
I'm sure she would have, but it's and I gotta be honest, it's just one sided. It's wrong. He took a very important report from Weber that contradicts what he's now saying he did. So he should have been allowed to testify. That this isn't like somebody,
But we never saw. Sorry, but we never saw any paperwork on that to show that it was
But
true.
that's what that's for. I'm telling you, that's what that's for.
Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is. It was said that's what it's for. They wanted to ruin Weber's testimony from when he testified for the state.
Mhm.
Because if you're servicing ATMs when you're away for 3 days, you got to go get the cash. Because not open, you got to go get the cash.
But CD, what are the chances that Richard Allen confesses that he was spooked by a white van, which makes sense? What's the chances that Brad Weber is coming home on his private drive at around the 2:30 time, or somewhere in that area, and that Richard Allen claims the white van spooked him?
But think about it, right? So let's just go with that.
chances?
So he was spooked. So he's on the edge of the bridge. He's spooked by this van. Yet he walks these girls down the embankment, cross a creek, up an embankment, and from the Weber's house, you can actually see down right by the creek. You know what I'm saying? It's just, to me, I know how the state's holding it. I don't think this is the key to getting Richard Allen. His confession's more so. I think the van is just the piece they're holding on. Look at how they've been holding. Nick McClellan, I think, was over his head, and he should have brought in a special prosecutor for this case. My opinion.
Well, no, see, it's one of those things. It's Nick McClellan trying to do damage control for the shitty ass investigation, and all the just like, honestly, if this case, to me, to be honest, who's going to be probably one of the most accountable people in my head is Doolin. There's no way that you can effing lose, or that you get a self-report and then you call the dude, you say it's odd because you met him at the Save-A-Lot, and then you totally forget about this guy afterwards and never look at him again. I mean, come on. There's a handful of people that were literally around that bridge. They're looking for someone specifically that was at the bridge that time.
Yeah,
and
that was at the bridge. I got to be honest. His tip should have been starred and put in some kind of folder where this is somebody we need to just keep. We need to keep this person on a string right now. This is 2 days after the murders. 2 days after the girls are found, he says, "I was there that day," and they dropped the ball. They dropped the ball all over the place.
Yeah, but the thing is, CD, how do you forget when Doug Carter and everybody underneath the sun?
Well, he's a conservation officer. He's not
matter.
He's not investigating. Well, he doesn't investigate crimes though. He investigates somebody shooting a deer when they're not supposed to. That's what he does. He doesn't do this. I don't know why he was the guy. I don't know why he was the guy. Was this because he was contacted directly? Maybe. I think that was a possibility. Like maybe he was contacted directly.
What? Say that again.
Was Doolin contacted directly by Richard Allen because he knew him or something? Wasn't there?
No.
Why was I just don't know why he was sent there. You had the FBI there. You had ISP there. You had real people who investigate, but they send this guy to interview him. It just doesn't. It's just so ridiculous when you think about it.
Start of it, right? But at the end of the day,
You know?
CD, it doesn't matter if it was a Joe Blow off the street. Like, it doesn't matter if he's what you consider not a cop and he's an ant, whatever. Bottom line is, does that delete your memory banks in your head if you would have spoke to
Oh, no,
somebody?
I agree.
That's
I
my
agree.
point.
He's a
Yeah.
bumbling idiot, just like the rest of them. Sorry, but that's just what it is.
Yeah, he's a
Steph is right. The
fucking
white
idiot.
there was white van talked about for years. There was the white van that had possible. People tried to say, oh, there was a white van on the side of the road that had a spider on it, like they were exterminators and all this
Mhm.
nonsense of rumors. But there was a white van for years. There was. She's right.
There
She's
was a
right.
white van talked about, but nobody really ever talked about it hardly. To be honest, there was nothing of a main subject.
Well, you
about
had his doctor in these Facebook groups.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying about tainted fruit. It's
right.
like nothing's been just pure clean. You know what I'm saying?
can't-
Do you know what I mean? It's just bothersome. It just is for me.
Yeah, whoever marked it clear needs to explain why they did that. Right, because they're a bunch of fucktards at the end of the day. That's the reason why. The whole lot of them, almost the whole lot of them, a bunch of fucktards. Like, seriously, like
Yeah.
the whole case is just a criming shame.
It's like it's tainted everywhere, from the crime scene, from just the girls being missing. Oh, yeah, you have Tobe. Oh, maybe they're at the late movie. You know, like he's just making shit up. He's making shit up.
Okay.
And then you know what also bothered me? Remember how the night they were missing, right? It's great. The fire department, the volunteer fire department was there. The chief brought out the light truck. You know, they were there. But when he was on the stand, do you know how many volunteer firemen he had there?
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know how many? The night the girls were missing. How many volunteer firemen were there?
I'm not sure. I couldn't
The
tell you that.
rumor, the way it was told for a long time, there were so many firemen there. There were 6.
Yeah.
There was the night of the girls were missing. There were 6 volunteers, and I'm not saying that they should have been more. It's great they donated their time. It's just you know, they were always saying like, oh, when the people are missing, there was a fireman or a cop with each group. There were 6 firemen there, and there was 2 deputies there at the initial beginning.
1 second. Badass American. You need to get your facts straight before you actually
Badass
speak.
American is wrong.
Because first of all, we're talking about the girls were found on the 14th. He self-reports on the 16th. By the 18th, he's talking to Dan Doolin. There ain't no 10,000 tips coming in a couple of days. So when you know that you're looking for that one guy on the bridge between that time, because they now have a timeline, obviously. So you need to get your facts straight.
Yeah, and remember, right? Dan Doolin basically wrote Richard Allen, and what do you put? Whitehead, I guess that's the street he lives on, and then he put Clears.
Right.
That's it. That was it. That was the total tip. Right. It wasn't like this man admits to being on the bridge that day, looking at a stock ticker within the same hours that the girls were there and when they were missing. Nothing. There was nothing else there. Just his name with Whitehead after. And what's the woman's name that found the tip? She's amazing. She's like, oh, that's got to be Richard Allen, and the Whitehead stands for Whitehead Road. Yeah. And come on, that's not how the tip was found. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's just. But at the end of the day, right, it's kind of one of those things. God gave you a brain there, badass. So use it, because there was not 10,000 tips coming in over the whole entirety. Do you think Dan Doolin was the only one that was taking these? But no, we're talking about the main part where they're looking for that guy. And at first they said that they wanted to talk to him, right? He wasn't a suspect. Then
and I think Richard Allen told them what he was wearing that day. He told them what he was wearing that day. And then that's like a day later is when the picture came out of him. You know, the picture of a bridge guy was put out. You know, Dan Doolin is another bumbling idiot. You know,
bumbling idiot. Repeat, bumbling idiot.
It's
he's an idiot.
Anybody that has a law enforcement background doesn't want to bash the police, but when you take a deep look, I'm sorry, Tobe should have handed this over to Doug Carter that night, you know, the day they were found. Give it to the experts, you know. And remember, who was it? Holman? I think it was a Holman, or was it Liggett? One of them said that they had no investigative, Tobe, no investigative cases, especially a murder. I think Tobe even said like he worked on a murder, but he was like, it must have been when he was a deputy. He was like there, but didn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they're incompetent. Give it to the experts. Give it to the ISP who handles murders daily.
Mhm.
You know, Indiana State Police is handling murders at least weekly.
Lafayette Chief Police specifically said that Tobe, when they offered their help, Tobe Lesenby, he goes, I don't know if it was egos or what, but they said no thank you. Then they came back saying thank you. He literally said that it's all about egos. It's not even about Abby and Libby. It became about
No,
egos.
it was, you know, when Doug Carter says it's all about power to you, like that's Tobe. That's sorry, that was
That's
Tobe.
Tobe.
I mean, you know, the
Yeah.
man. Oh, I gotta click this. It's
Yeah.
gonna screech.
I'm his least favorite fan for Tobe Lesenby for sure. Travis Doolin didn't want to admit he was a victim of confirmatory, is that how you say it? Confirmatory bias on there. Dan D is suspicious to me. Badass. Sorry he didn't drop the ball. You guys, you know, I'm so sorry if God only gave you one brain cell to use on this one. I get your
Yeah.
opinion, but honestly,
Yeah.
use your head and think about this, okay?
Yeah.
Like seriously. This is where this becomes stupid, is that when somebody literally has not only a self-report, talks to the person, he doesn't do anything at all besides what within the first few days they're looking for a man. He literally writes down his name as Whiteman.
Sonny, look, I'm
Who,
ignoring her, so she
what
jumps on me with her ball.
what person that talked with somebody within that week would totally yeah, it's all good on there. So I don't know who dropped you on your head as a baby on this one for thinking, but honestly, this stuff is just ridiculous when somebody's sitting there saying that like basically that Doolin, yeah, he just rocked it, didn't he? He's great. Why don't you go kiss his ass a little bit over there? Because honestly, he probably needs it. Honestly, when somebody gets a tip, it doesn't matter. When you get a tip, it gets misfiled, it gets misplaced. It's going to cost this case probably either an acquittal or a hung jury for this case on there. But come on, use a little bit of common sense up there. I mean, seriously.
Yeah. You know, it's just
He
sad
dropped the ball.
because
He
so much
dropped it.
time passed before they got back to Richard Allen. You had what was it, August 2022? What was that, 6 weeks before they got to Allen? You had Keegan Klein at the Air Force Base, and he was still a suspect. There have been so many suspects. You know, there's another, I actually know of another suspect. And I'm not going to mention it here, but I told you about that person that was a huge suspect in the beginning, and their house and their business was searched prior to Bicycle Bridge Road. So it just shows you how, you know, anybody with a pulse that was a man was a suspect back then. You know, they had a lot of suspects that they went through
on there.
And listen, you got to look at everybody. And Weber even said he had a lie detector test done to him. He said on the stand yesterday. You know, they narrowed in on many people. Forrest and committed suicide. Yeah, you could show that because that's kind of true. He was threatened by Holman, and the poor guy committed suicide. Very sad. It's very sad. You know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, everyone knows how frustrating this case is. For sure. Calm down,
I put it in.
Alan.
I don't know why you deleted that. It's factual. Whoever deleted
do
that.
you realize that the only person that looks like a fool in this chat right now is you? Like, seriously, do you actually realize that? But if you want to stay. But if not, then go to another channel and go feed your bullshit to them. Other than that, but honestly, when things are just beyond stupid in a comment, I have a hard time dealing with those. And probably I'm lacking sleep, badass. Okay, I worked all day, tired. So when I see
we don't need
trigger
nonsense
comment,
here. We don't need nonsense from these people. They need to
just
cut
when
the
I
shit
see
out.
a trigger comment of what I call deem as sorry, but stupidity comment, knowing full well that he's not going to get no freaking award for this case. That's for damn sure.
Why is a little bit
on there, but it's a combination of it all. But that was one of the main reasons that this case went that way it did, was for that reason and that reason alone. And that's why Ron Logan got looked at. This person had the job been done right. When someone says that they were on the bridge and all that stuff in the exact time, you're not taking their phone. You're not telling them to, come down to the station and talk.
They took how many devices out of Keegan's that same week? You know, a week later, they took 10 devices out of his home. You know, They, Doolin dropped the ball because they should have had his place and everything else. And honestly, this case might have been closed then. Steph said, is it possible we're able to investigate this case going forward? They have evidence that can be tested. ISP went on allowed to be tested. Steph, the sad part is, let's just, hypothetical. If Rich Allen, if he gets off, even a mistrial, I don't know where the county's coming up with the money to try him again. Another $4 million trial would bankrupt them. I just don't know how they would be able to do it. Sad, but
well, at the end of the day, this is my biggest
this
worry.
case, it's going to come down to? It's going to come down to closing arguments. That's what's going to
Absolutely.
Nick. That's all. Nick has one more shot.
Well,
remember
right.
I said to you last time we talked to you, I said to you probably over by Wednesday, Thursday. It was over Thursday, but I said to you that Nick only had 4 days left. I think it was that Friday night. I said he's got 4 more days to convince this jury. I think he did a good job of closing out the prosecution side, but I think the defense is doing a great job. They're counteracting perfectly each piece that they feel was going to hurt Richard Allen.
Well,
you have 2 different doctors that have said he's got, he was in psychosis, and they say crazy shit in psychosis. It's going to be on the jury. That's what it's going to be on.
It's going to be the believability of the jury. Now they have a psychologist on their CD. How big of a factor do you think that psychologist is going to play with the other juries?
I think that that psychologist is going to definitely have strong beliefs in what the woman yesterday said, that the one that's from Indiana or Harvard. I think she's from Harvard. The psychiatrist from Harvard. The woman, she's got a big name. A lot of people know who she is. I think that he's going to hold what she says with, it's going to be, to him, it's going to be strong. Now to anybody else, I don't know. Listen, all it takes is one to go the other way. And, that's that.
I think Pee Wee did it. 100%. I think he has a very good chance of getting found a hung jury, perhaps. I'm thinking more of a hung jury.
Listen, if you are that strong on it, you want to be convicted, because I just don't see where's the county coming up with this money. They don't have a huge budget. They had to make things work to have a first trial. I just don't know where they're coming for a second with the money. CD,
let's say that there is a hung jury. The family might.
Trump's at 246 electorals.
And what's
I think he just got Georgia. I think Georgia was given to him. I'm trying to confirm. Because that's 16.
Intermission. What's your swing states over there?
He's got to get to 270, right? So he's at 246 now. If he wins Pennsylvania, that's 19. That's that's 264, and then winning Wisconsin alone would put him at 274, and he wins. New York Times has this meter, and right now he's at 91% to win, winning 302 electorals and winning the popular by 1.3%. That's huge. That's huge. Plus 1.3. It's huge. So it looks like he's going to be victorious. Just not done yet.
I thought he was anyway. So regardless,
listen, if you think about where he was in 2022, right? Just think of 2 years ago. He was out. The rumor was Ron's going to, once the primaries come, he had every social media account of his banned, And the turning point, in my opinion, was Elon Musk buying X. Because then Lax started coming back, and he started getting little pieces, and the media started covering him. Now the primaries for the Republicans start coming. He didn't show up to any of those primary debates because he knew in his mind the people were going to support him. And he knocked one by one. Knocked them all off down to Nikki Haley and then DeSantis. And he has PA. Yeah, he did. That's 16. So that's the one he got.
Just
no. PA. I didn't see PA get given to him yet, but they gave him. They just gave him Georgia, which is 16. When he gets PA, that's 19. And that's going to put him at 264. And he just needs either Wisconsin or Michigan right there. That's it.
Yeah, he probably has it, I'm sure.
Let me tell you something. I just want it to be over because I'm tired of you go on social media, just the bashing and just even people that I know that are Democrats in my town, it's awkward
You guys
because
are
they know
nutsoid over there.
what.
You guys are fucking nutsoid with
Oh,
your
it's
whole
crazy.
election
It's
shit.
Sonny, it's so crazy. The
It's
politics,
crazy.
even in 2015, when you saw like people talking about, oh, hey, Trump's going to
Oh, yeah.
run, they just felt that he was going to run, he was going to just lose to Hillary. And man, let me tell you something. When that guy got on
Oh
the
my God,
escalator,
Hillary.
coming down to try, I shook Trump's hand back in 2001 when I was on. It was December 2001. It was during my field training. I was in front of Trump Tower, and I shook his hand. He said, thanks for being out here. He's very nice. And let me tell you something, everybody you hear that's met him in person, how nice he is. But, the media has vilified him. And,
Well, let me
it's
put
time.
it this
We need a
way.
change.
And no offense to anybody in here, but Hillary Clinton is a fake ass bullshit female. Like I cannot stand her, just like I can't stand, like when I really can't stand somebody.
I'm not for politicians being prosecuted.
I'm not even into
But
politics. You're
what she
Hillary
did,
Clinton there.
just think about what she did and deleting all those emails and then bleach bidding to all those hard drives. I mean, that alone shows somebody's so guilty. So guilty. And I know, oh, Trump, he's got 34 felonies. That New York case. I'm sorry, it's a made up case. There's nobody who was hurt by those business dealings. There's nobody. There's not one person that they can say is hurt. But New York is. You have tyrannical government here in New York. I mean, look at that poor Peanut the squirrel. They killed the squirrel. They euthanized the squirrel and a raccoon. The DC showed up. Do you know the squirrel I'm talking about on TikTok? There's this people in New York that they found a baby squirrel 7 years ago, and they raised it and everything else, right? So they had it for 7 years, and I think they were living possibly in Connecticut and moved to New York like in the last 10 months. And some lady in Texas called the DEC that they have an illegal animal staying with them. So the DEC, like 4 or 5 days ago, maybe a week ago, showed up at their house, treated them like criminal. 10 to 15 DEC officers, right? Department Environmental Conservation, treated them like criminals. Took the squirrel and the raccoon. They had a squirrel and a raccoon, and they euthanized both of them.
Really?
Sick. And the good that they were doing, they were taking the money they were making for social media, and they took in horses. They were starting a sanctuary off this squirrel named Peanut, and they euthanized it. It's just, this state has gone batshit, man. It really has. It makes me question why I'm still here in the state. It really does. And tell my wife, let's get the fuck out of here. Really, though. It's just like,
great.
it's really, you're weaponizing the government. Like, that's the resources you're using for a squirrel. That's where our resources are going. That's where state taxes go. Like, it's just, what are we doing?
Let's see.
So they ruined this couple's life. They ruined their life. They killed this, and the squirrels are so freaking cute. Like, they show them as a baby, and they're using a little syringe to give it milk and feed this thing, and the thing would jump all over them. And they said that, the squirrel bit one of the DEC officers, so they had to put it down for rabies, and they killed the raccoon too. But it's just, we're just in a weird place. We really are.
Badass. I'm sorry, but you're annoying now. And
Who, the same person?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
At least Trudeau's good to look at. He's like the best eye candy. I'm sure he's better looking than you, to be honest with you, badass. Anyways.
I'll tell you, when they show Fidel Castro and Trudeau next to each other, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm just
that whole rumor, right?
Sorry,
the whole rumor that he might be Fidel Castro's son. You know that, right? You live in Canada. You know that rumor. Or you don't?
That who is?
Sonny, you don't know the rumor that Fidel Castro is the father of Trudeau? You got to Google it later and look at it.
He's the
Fidel
father
Castro,
of Trudeau?
Well, that's the rumor.
Pierre Elliott Trudeau is the father of Trudeau.
No, Trudeau's mother, I guess in the late 60s, early 70s, used to go to Cuba and hung out with Fidel Castro.
Yeah. All right. Back to Delphi. Back to Delphi.
Get off. They don't have to get bailed. Oh, CJK, let me tell you something, man. New York City is. I feel bad for anybody that I used to work with down there that are still working. Out of the 1,700 cops I graduated with, there's 210 left that are still working, and I feel bad for them every day. When I started working as a cop, you got locked up on a Friday, and you were in central booking until Monday. You were there Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and you didn't see a judge till Monday. And now you walk in and you walk out. Doesn't matter. These migrants stealing from people, robbing people, beating the shit out of people, and they walk in the precinct and they're out, an hour later. You want a kangaroo court? There you go. There you go.
Delphi. I hear you,
But
doggy.
that's also why policing has changed in a lot of places. It's reactive policing, meaning you're reacting to the crime. It's not proactive, and that's a big problem. That's a big problem because that's why crime goes up. And they could try and say crime is down, it's not down.
Excuse me, can we talk about Canada for a second, please?
Yeah, what do you got?
Sonny, I just spent 24 hours in your city over the weekend. Had a night on the town before heading home back east. Vancouver is one of the most beautiful Canadian cities to fly into at night. Absolutely.
No.
BC is beautiful British Columbia, and bring cash. There you go.
Eating the sloth.
Anyone that hasn't been here, we have. BC is beautiful.
I had to take this away with the dogs playing.
You go ahead. But anyways, so
look at this.
Please stop the migrant lies. Yeah, we're not gonna. Oh, what the heck is that? That's
the dog's eating the pink sloth.
Yeah.
And made a hole in it, and I got the cushion stuff. Yeah, that's what a Malinois does when she's trying to get my attention. It's because I'm talking. I'm talking and there's nobody in the room, so she thinks I'm talking to her, but I'm not looking at her.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
she's just fighting for. Come on up. You want to say hi?
Gotcha.
Everybody
Okay.
wants to see you anyway. Come on up.
So
you can say hi.
So did you watch videos from today for Delphi? We're going back to Delphi, by the way.
No. You know what? I follow who does an amazing job on X. Simply Stranger. I think we've seen her in chats for a while. She basically, every time there's an update from WTHR or any of the news sites, she publishes it on her X in a thread. So the morning stuff, like I want to say by 11:15, she's got the morning stuff that's already happened from 9 to 11 o'clock. It's already up.
Oh,
very
okay.
good. So I've been following pretty much everything, and I go to all the different news sites and I look. I'm following this. I know. Frank Meister was in somebody's chat yesterday. I forget who it was. I guess he didn't like how people were talking. Just listen, everybody has their opinion, and that's America, right? That's free speech. Everybody can say whatever they want.
And
he didn't like, I guess, how people were saying, and he was like, listen, if you haven't been to the courthouse, you shouldn't have an opinion. And that's just, I'm sorry, Frank, I love you, but that's just wrong, because we're getting what's happening from reporters, because we're not allowed to hear it. We're just not allowed to hear what's going on, because they didn't want to give us a live feed.
Bad Frank. Bad Frank.
This case is weighing on anybody that's going to the courthouse.
Well, I mean,
this is a lot to take, because you're watching the family's response instantly. And I know, because they were giving dignity to Richard Allen by showing just the video to the jurors, that pissed a lot of people off, and I get it. I get it, but also got to remember that Nick McClellan didn't have to show everybody the murder scene pictures. Yeah. He could have just showed the jury, but he chose to show everybody. So listen, it goes both ways. That's the way a trial goes. Nobody's going to agree fully with either side.
Mm-hmm. I don't care. I'm vaping. I'm just going to vape on the live. You guys don't.
Why would vape? I'm vaping too. You're entitled to vape. What do you mean? It's been you've had a long day. You worked late.
Oh my God, it's been a long day. Oh my, it's been. But I did win $400.
Your opinion heard here. That's the way we are. It's the way it should be. Freedom of speech. Say whatever you want. If you don't agree with me, it's okay. I'm okay with it. I'm going to sleep tonight.
Except for Badass. Badass was irritating me.
Yeah, but that's different.
He didn't just drop it. He kept going, and then I kept seeing posts, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Yawn, you're boring me now, dude."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I have a short span for morons.
Well, it's just they're just being a jerk, They're not just saying an opinion; they're just here to create controversy.
Yes, and that's
it's
the
late,
difference.
and nobody cares. Yeah. Nobody cares to hear their news.
Yeah,
I'm over
badass.
here. I'm
Badass and that.
multitasking. I'm talking to you, then I'm checking in on Pennsylvania to see how many votes are in. And we're at 90% reporting, and Donald Trump is up by almost 220,000 votes is up in Pennsylvania. That should be done. They should be giving it to him already.
And she,
If you add it up, there's with 10% reporting, there's not enough left, I don't think, for her to catch up and win in Pennsylvania. So that 19 should be on his side already, and that would bring him to 260, 265, and he only needs one more state to win and end it.
yeah, on there. Hold on a second.
The YouTubers that are not attorneys are so biased to find deals with what happened trial from Andrea and hidden true crime. Yeah, Stefan, listen, you've been following this case from the beginning. You know how biased some of these people are. There's people that are still pushing the Ron Logan theory. There's people still saying that the girls weren't murdered there, even with all the bulldogs that we knew about all the way in Ron Logan's search warrant. We knew that was the scene. But that's just this case. And the problem is, why give these people platforms that are insane? Why? I got 90% on the AP.
Well,
for,
I used
Pennsylvania, 90%.
I used to be with someone that was reporting on Delphi.
Now Trump is up to 95% on the New York Times. Yep,
Yeah.
look at that. Likely Trump win.
Are you gonna jizz when? Yeah, are you gonna jizz
Jesus,
when he?
I think my screen's too bright to show it.
It's too bright.
It's 90. Yeah. Well, you see that needle. Look at that needle right there on the top.
Yeah.
It's showing you he's going to win.
Yeah.
He's very likely 93% chance now. Yeah. Let's end it, though. Let's call this shit. Hey, Ivy. Yeah, it's just this case. It can. I mean, I see. It's weighing on Aspen. He's in the families, and this is brutal for anybody that's there. Especially seeing the family's response and getting to know the family. It's not easy. And the whole thing is, we want justice for the girls, the families, and let's just hope it happens.
Let's see this comment here. CJK, because Andrea may get sued for blaming the family of being. Did she blame the family?
I have no idea. What did CJK? What did she say? Can you give us more on that? What did she said to blame the family?
Nancy Grace is going after the family bashers.
Listen, I know that Andrea is kind of pro defense. She is, but
Fibro's giving you shit on there.
What does that mean?
That basically, CD. I mean, you might not realize it is because you cut me off a lot. That's why.
I'm sorry.
No, well, you know what? I'm used to that though, right? Is it like meaning we all have our personalities, but
maybe she doesn't want me talking about the election. That could be it.
Well, maybe I don't know. What do you mean by that, Barbara? We got thick skin here. Yeah, Aspen is tired and doing a great job as the Turbo and Deli. Yeah, I really wouldn't know about that because he would have to actually send me a message, let me know. But I digress on that one right now because it makes my blood boil following a case for over 3 years together with someone and they literally freaking flop like you don't exist anymore. But hey, I'm glad he's doing well over there. I'm really tired.
Well, I mean, especially while the trial's going on.
Especially while the trial's going on, something we've been covering for 3 years. But I wouldn't know because that would mean that my friend would actually have to send messages and let me know information. But he doesn't, so I got to watch other channels. So I'm a little very. Let me put it this way: at this moment, I am very hurt at this moment, and it's.
I can understand that. So I can get it.
Just trust. Like I'm just gonna say this: if you spent over 3 years with somebody, following a Delphi case, every ounce of it. And then that person goes to Delphi and you don't even know that they've gone to Delphi, that they're just thinking about trying to go. And you're hearing information from other people. And then he can't even be asked to message. And the only message when I blew his shit stack and said, like, where the fuck are you? Seriously. So if somebody did that to you and you put yourself in my shoes and you've been following this case for all that time, and I have to go to other channels to get coverage about the case because somebody's very emotional and they can't. I don't know the reasons. I don't care, to be honest, anymore, because a friend does not do that to a friend after 3 years. You don't do that. I will never make excuses for bullshit. and this is bullshit. We've been covering this case for all these years, but I'm going to digress on that because I know Aspen's a good person in his heart, but what he's done to me, like for not even whatever, like I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you. You know,
my piece on that is that if it's weighing
Don't know.
heavy on him, I get it, and he doesn't want to go live, he doesn't want to talk about it, but at least send you his notes for the day.
But I get nothing. That's just
No,
it.
oh no, that's what I'm saying. Is like if
I get
it's
nothing.
too much, he doesn't want to talk about it every day. Just send you the notes on what he took for the day.
It's
That's all. You know,
my
I
bottom
get
line
it.
is this. You don't spend 3 years with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Even if you can't do a live because you're so tired, just send me the gist of what happened in the day so I can report on it. You know, but I don't want to like honestly. No,
I get it.
Gaming, you didn't make nothing. Like at the end of the day, I love my friend Adam.
No, it
But
hurts more than it makes you mad. You're hurt.
loyalty
You're hurt.
means everything to me. And
Yeah.
this was the biggest fuck over that a friend could do on a case that was so important to both of us. And to watch them literally talk and be other places and barely talk to any of us, not just me, other people as well that we're friends with. That's why I'm very angry. Basically,
I've spoken to him a couple times per week, and it's very brief. I'm just checking in on him. How are you doing? Yeah,
It is broken.
because
very
I do know it. I know it's
Andrea,
I know just being there is hurting him a lot. But your
You know
guys'
what?
situation doesn't make sense. I'm sorry, it
Are
doesn't.
Are we 2 years old or are we adults? There's everybody else that is sleeping on the freaking ground. There's everybody else that's emotional, some more than others because more are attacked. At the end of the day, everybody else was doing lives. And where was my co-host to be found? No idea. No idea. Because that would require some communication. The most important case we've been following. So do I feel like I was, pushed to the side and because somebody became an emotional basket case? Absolutely. But so it's like on one hand, of course I understand this is a very emotional case. Didn't stop Tom Webster or everybody else from reporting on it and doing lives. But my friend goes AWOL on me during the case, the most important case that we were waiting to hit trial, and I get shafted. And I have no clue about it. And he's basically closed up and stuff like that. Now, Aspen is a good person, but he did a really
very good guy.
shitty thing here. And so my thing is this. I am absolutely about loyalty. He fucked me over. And it's not about the fact of like clicks and views and shit. This was an important case to cover. It didn't matter if 50 people are watching or 1,000 people are watching. This was a case we had spent years working on. And where has Aspen been? No fucking clue. Besides, yes, tired. Like everybody else though, right? So, am I pissed? Absolutely. Did I take him?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I think he's been having to go on to Marcus Bob, but I thought he's had sitters because when Tom was live, and he walked up to the steps. Tom, like the night before he left, he went up to the stairs.
I just don't make.
And he asked the girls that were sitting there, "Who are you there for?" And one of them was there for Aspen. I don't know if it was only that night. Could have been, but I could understand that you're hurt more than anything.
Well, the thing is that I look at all angles, of course, right? I look at the fact, was this too much to expect my own co-host to report to me, even in messages throughout the day? It was not.
Just send you, hey, here's my notes for the day. And that's
I won't make excuses for someone's bad behavior. So although he might be very emotional and very caring and all that towards the family and shit, well, he fucked his own co-host over. So for me, that is. But if you can't have loyalty to your own friends first, and you're all caught up in your emotions over there, and you become an absolute basket case that you can't deal with anything, my thing is this: I'm sorry, but grow the fuck up. You're not two. You're an adult, right? Everyone has emotions, but you don't fuck over your friends. And when you fuck over your friends, then I will get rid of you. So that's exactly this. I'm so mad that I literally blocked him. Because that's how hurt I am that my own co-host fucked me over with this. Not him. He's taking care of his emotions. He's taking care of all his needs over there. But did he give two shits about my feelings or the fact that we've covered this case for all this time, waiting for this moment? And my friend does that to me. Fuck you, friend. You ain't my friend. That's all I gotta say. Okay, that you know what? I just vented there. I felt good too. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't know gaming and sleuthing was the one that was on
She's the one that
spot.
has been sitting
Yeah,
for us. Well,
yeah.
I don't want gaming and sleuthing by no means.
No,
No,
yeah,
but I don't want gaming and sleuthing to sit there and go, oh well, I can't talk to Sunny or I can't talk to Aspen. No, because each to
no,
us
yeah,
own. I love gaming
no,
and sleuthing for
yeah.
her
She's
being
friends
a
with
member
both
of
of
the
you.
channel. She's
Listen,
helped
I
Adam
think
out,
I
and
think in the end
honestly,
this will work out. I do think it'll work out with you guys in time. I just think this really weighed on him a lot, and I get 100% your frustration because you're waiting
well,
3 years for this trial, and it's here, and he's there, and you're
AWOL,
not even getting his
AWOL,
notes.
yeah,
Yeah,
AWOL. Like I said, again, you know,
yeah,
I'm not this big fucking drama queen about shit and stuff like that. And again, like I said, he can come up with multiple excuses. At the end of the day, you fucked over your friend,
yeah.
and for me, that's to me that you drew the line right there. I gave him a chance. I even said like, "What's going on? Whatever. Talk to me tomorrow." Right? I said, "Message me tomorrow." Did I get that message the next day? Absolutely, I did not. And so I'm like, okay, really, Adam? We just literally had this talk. Aspen, by the way, Adam's his real name. We had this talk. And I get it. Okay, buddy, you're emotional. But you know what? If the family can go there fighting every fucking day for Adam, Abby, and Libby, right? And you
Yeah.
don't even know that family, like you're not part of that family, and you're more emotional than they are. Like, come on. Like, seriously? So, right, emotions. I get them. We all, right? But it's just about the fact of you don't spend 3 years on a case and you fuck your friend over, right? So, is that a friend?
Well, it's not even just you. It's the community you guys have built together. You know, it's more than
Well,
just one person.
Charmaine sent him a freaking donation, and he said he didn't even get it. Or no, sorry, he didn't even say a thank you back for it, right? And she sent Tom one. Tom said thank you. I told Aspen, Charmaine sent you a donation, right? And then he sends
Yeah.
her a message saying, "Oh, I didn't know about the message till I was told about it." Bullshit. That's not what you said to me. Stop trying to always make yourself look good and then lie about it and stuff like that. Right? Right? And it's just like, don't bullshit. But how do you not say thank you to someone that sent you a donation, especially Charmaine? You know,
Yeah.
Tom
No, I
did.
know.
So don't make
I
excuses for
sent
bad
I sent
behavior.
I only sent the $20 just to get coffee, but it is what it is.
Anyways,
You try and
we'll
do.
start. Oh my God, really?
I don't
I,
know. Gaming. How do they? I mean, I don't know how do they allow one person to watch 10 chairs? Usually, it's like one person per chair, like they did at uh, the Karen Reed trial. You had to sit with your chair, and if somebody was sitting for you, they had to be in that chair. You know.
oh, tell it. Anyways, you guys, I just want to say this. I love Aspen. This is the only time I'm going to talk about this tonight
Yeah.
on this live. I love Aspen with all my heart. He has hurt me beyond repair. So now I need to let that go, let him go on his journey and be happy doing whatever it is that makes him feel whole, healthy, and happy and whatever. And I need to do my thing. But I'll always have a special place in my heart for Aspen Connor. But again, I have a thing about friends that when somebody draws a line and you've given them a chance and then they still do this during the most important time of something that it's like not caring about my needs at all about this case and I have to look elsewhere for it. That's not how you treat a friend. So I draw my line in the sand to say, you know what? Enough is enough now. You know, go your way with whatever people. I don't care. All the best to you. Have a good one. Love you. But that's just it. End of the story for this. You know, but wishing him the best regardless. Okay. I would never, you know,
Listen,
like I would never
there's
get
no
mad at
there's no
Joe.
ill will in you.
It's
Just
no, it's just a matter
you're
of being upset and mad and
yeah.
angry and going, you know what?
I think you're more hurt than angry.
I'm
You know, I
hurt
know I know anger
beyond
comes
belief.
from it, but you're hurt. You know, I get it.
Oh, the hurt
I
anger's coming out because of the hurt, because
yeah
the hurt is deep.
yeah.
You know, like me and Adam and Charmaine and others too, like Deb, we don't have to talk all the time, but when
Yeah.
we do, it's like you never missed a beat and stuff like that, right? It's one of those things.
I
But
like
I
how
don't.
I'm not included in that little circle. You know,
Yeah. Well, CD.
I'm not in
CD
the circle. It's all right. No
you're,
problem.
yeah. No,
Remember that.
CD knows too. CD knows that we can go a month or so without talking, and it's just yeah. You guys, you know how it is with our group in our private chat. You know,
No,
it's like
I
we
know.
love each other, we care about each other, type of thing. And sometimes I'm not there, and especially since I've been working and stuff like that. And sometimes I'm just
Yeah.
quiet by nature. I'm more vocal on a live, but
Well,
you have
it's like you like block. At the end of the day, I mean, when you're working late at night, it's like it's hard to want to get up and to get home and then want to get online and that's tough. And you still do it. You're still here.
yeah.
You're
But
still
anyway,
here
so yeah,
after you work till what 8 your time,
yes, 8 my
and now
time.
it's your time. It's 11 o'clock, right? 11:09. You're 2 hours behind me.
I am.
How many
I'm
hours are you
3
behind
hours.
me now? Do you turn your clocks
I'm
back too, or
3.
no?
Yeah. Yeah. Saskatchewan doesn't change theirs; they always stay the same.
Oh, yeah. I knew
But
there was some place in Canada that doesn't change it. I didn't know where it
yeah.
was.
So how's
I've
Trump
only
doing
been to
there? Because
Canada once. It's an Niagara Falls and we crossed
Stephanie, you
over.
were never
That's
in this. Say it again.
it.
See,
So
Stephanie,
I
you were
said I've
never
only
in
been to Canada
Canada,
once.
right? Yeah. No, Stephanie, you're the same. You know that. If I don't mention your name, it's not because I don't love you. It's just because then I'd have to probably think about everybody that I'm talking about. But Stefan knows same thing. We can go
Yeah.
lots without talking, but we're all good friends in our group. We're all very good friends.
Listen,
You know.
I'd like to come on every day. I'd like to go on my channel every day. Just I'm just busy with the family and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I gotta start making time, but it's just busy time. I'm in the middle of selling my rental house. I'm selling that. I'm in the middle of dealing with all that nonsense. It just never ends.
See, at CJK, who pays $20 for a cup of coffee?
Well, I mean, I get even Dunkin' in New York. I get like an iced latte with an extra shot of espresso. It's like $8, $8.50. Yeah, nothing's
Somebody said
cheap
they paid
anymore.
$20 for a freaking coffee or something.
I could bet that some drinks
Okay.
at Starbucks in the city are 13. I could see that.
Crazy.
Well, let's get back to Delphi. Where do you want to go? Tell me what you wanted to talk about.
Well, you know what? Do me a favor. Okay, you guys in chat, put out any question that you have a topic you want to talk about with Delphi, and then we'll click on it. Justice Jane, he has been taking notes. Yeah. Okay, I lied. I will say one more thing. It doesn't do you no fucking good, just saying, to go somewhere like the last trip to Delphi, take a bunch of notes, do videos after the hearings have already happened. Nobody gives a effing shit at that point, okay? People want to know Delphi in the now. They don't want to wait a week or two later till everything's over and then somebody put out videos. Everyone, we want to know Delphi now. In the now, we want to know it as fast and as soon as we get it on there. So for saying that, right? I that part I just don't get. Nobody want that's like me putting out a video and expecting it to get views after like 2 days. It's not going to really happen. But people want to know about Delphi right now, in the now, what's going on. Everyone's soaking up everybody. Even though to me, I'm kind of at a point now where I'm just like, I don't want to say bored. I don't want to say bored, but I do want to say that, yeah, the defense is just going to go through all their strategies of trying to, put holes in the story now. And that's just kind of the point we're at. But, these little tidbits about a phone, I don't buy the full phone shit for a reason there. I think that's just a bunch of malarkey on that shit. You got mental health issue people. Anyways, where do you want to go with it, CD?
There was a piece from yesterday that I'm trying to find right now. Give me 1 second. I'll find it. There was a piece that stood out to me yesterday. Not yesterday that just turned over, but the day before. Getting there.
Support with Steffa says, can we please talk about the audio cable on Libby's phone at 5441032P? What the hell is that number? Can we please talk about the audio cable?
Oh no, she's talking about from 5:44 to 10:32. The woman testified yesterday that there was something was plugged into the aux jack. And could it be something simple as the phone being wet? It could. It absolutely could. I agree with that. I just don't know why, it shows that it was plugged in for over 5 hours. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, a wet device, I think, could cause that because the 6S, I don't believe, had any waterproof rating at that time. I don't think it was until the iPhone X, which is 3 phones later, that there was some kind of waterproofing that was added to
Mhm.
the phone.
Yeah.
I'm looking. I think I almost got it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm in yesterday's, so I'm just getting there.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be right around 2:30? Mm-hmm. Yeah, probably. I mean, if Richard Allen could just, like, just open up the doors, just let it all out, get it off your chest, Richard Allen.
This one piece I want to talk about was yesterday, was when they called Richard Allen's daughter and sister and half sister to
Yeah,
ask them if they were ever sexually assaulted by him, because in one of his
sexually
confessions
assaulted.
he said that he sexually assaulted.
Essay,
What? Oh, sorry,
essay.
he essayed his half sister in one of the confessions, and that he was also essayed as a child by somebody in the family or something.
Mm. Oh,
And so they
right.
brought the daughter and sister up and asked them, and they both said no, that never happened.
Mm. That's, well, again, yeah. It's just honestly going to boil down to, at the end of the day, the defense is going to put on their shit, and then the closing
Yeah.
arguments are going to happen, and it's whether the jury
It's gonna
believes,
come down. It's gonna come down to the jury.
you know,
That's what it's gonna come down to. You
yeah.
know, and
You
I
know,
know people don't like hearing that, but that's just where it's gonna go. It's gonna be in the jury's hands. There we go. This is what I want to talk about. So let me read
Okay.
this, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah, read it.
The defense's 18th witness was Betsy Blair, 9:17 a.m. This is from Monday. The jury entered the courtroom. Defense attorney Baldwin called Betsy Blair to the stand, who said she saw a car in the CPS parking lot on February 13th, 2017, and also went to the trails twice that day. Blair described the vehicle as a four-door sedan that was brightly colored. During cross-examination, prosecuting attorney said Blair talked to police on the 17th of 2017, and she described the car as closer to the building, angled and backed in. Blair confirmed she was certain the car she saw was at the CPS building, and she also testified that the vehicle wasn't black.
What color is his, blue or black?
Black.
This is blue, isn't it?
She's saying that the vehicle she saw at the CPS building was brightly colored, four-door sedan. Couldn't tell if there was a hatch in the back, but knew there was definitely 4 doors. It was brightly colored, and she told law enforcement February 17th, 2017.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't.
Interesting?
Well, what I find interesting is like when I think of it all as a totality, there's a ton of holes in everything, like pretty much everything.
But she said this 3 days after, so this was fresh of mind.
Right.
Not a black vehicle, a bright colored vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
My whole thing is that defense is doing a very good job at what they're supposed to do.
She said it was not a bright color.
She said it wasn't black. It was brightly colored, 4-door sedan, backed in.
Is that in the paper, or where are you reading that from?
This is from WTHR.
Okay, so did they get it right or wrong, though? Do you guys, Ivy, do you remember?
I've heard multiple stations said it was not black.
Not bright color, not black. Right. But the thing is that this is where I get confused, because the channels report to the other channels that are affiliates on them. And just like
they hand their notes to somebody, and then they go back inside for the afternoon, and they'll run that and give it out.
But
you heard yesterday what happened with Bob. I think he's WTHR, right? Bob something.
Oh,
he gave the wrong notes, saying that when the daughter was asked if she loved her father, that she said no, and he corrected it last night, 2 nights ago, when he got out of court because he made a mistake in his notes. He thought he just wrote it down wrong. So that's also a problem, is that there's contamination with their notes because they're going so fast. They're scribbling and they're trying to get every detail they can. But to make a mistake like that, saying that the daughter doesn't love her father when she said she did, but he retracted and he corrected it. So that's another problem, is that, I mean, listen, let's be honest, it's 2024. This trial should be on court TV every day. So anybody who wants to watch it can see it. There's no reason there shouldn't be 100% transparency with this case.
I know.
No,
who's
Barbara
MSM?
Mustang, Barbara McDonald said it, but Bob's the one that it was his notes. So Barbara McDonald was giving out the info from Bob's notes, because Bob's the one that corrected it. I can read what he said last night.
Yeah.
Because he owned it. Listen, Bob Siegel, WTHR. Let me go to his statement that he made, because he did correct it, and you gotta give him credit that he did correct the problem. Where's his retraction?
Who's MSM? I kept thinking Murder Sheets, but who's MSM?
That's mainstream media.
Mainstream media? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where does it say that he retracted and corrected his statement? Because he did. I think it's on Barbara's page, because she added his retraction or something. Yeah, it's just I mean, I get it. It's frustrating that even happened.
Usually WTHR puts out a 30 to 40-minute video.
She said, "I've deleted a post about Richard Allen's daughter's testimony because another set of pool notes and another reporter say she did testify that she loves her dad, that he did not molest her, he did not SA her, and that she would not lie for him." And that was Bob's notes that she read from. So he went back. He corrected it. Yeah, it was from Bob's notes. And that's the messy part, is that they're trying. It's not that they're lying. They're writing as fast as they can so they don't miss anything. And mistakes happen like anything else. I don't think he did that. What's the purpose of him saying that on purpose? The jury's hearing the truth. Everybody else that's in there is hearing the truth. It's a mistake, in my opinion.
I don't like Gull anymore. She can fuck it.
Huh?
Fuck a duck for all I care.
Who's that?
Gull, friend Gull. It's Gull shit.
Oh.
It's Gull shit.
I mean, it's just there's no reason that this
right,
should
Melissa,
have been
Gull shit.
a live feed for everybody to watch and hear what's being said each day. And also, I've been on the week. So many pieces have been spoken about in the last week that the bullet one stands out to me, because I said it when it happened, that how junk science that is to fire rounds out in order to get the same striation marks. That's just just ridiculous.
I know, and and that's just it, because again, it's just gonna boil down. So like, this is not one of those cases that you can go, oh yeah, like pretty much a slam dunk at all.
Oh, Donald Trump got it. He got Pennsylvania. He's at 267. He needs one more state and it's over. And the rumor, people are saying that
bullshit.
Vice President Harris has canceled appearances for tomorrow. So I guess once the next state is given to Trump, that he will concede, I would think. He's going to end up in the 290s the way it's going. Maybe even over 300.
Yeah.
Right now, he's at a 95% chance and 306 electorals when it's over. When I think they're saying that Trump's going to speak. If he does speak, I'm going to mute, because I got to hear this live if he comes out.
Of course. I got to pee, to be honest with you.
Anybody have any questions? What does anybody think? Does anybody want to,
CD,
law enforcement mind? Yeah, I'll take over. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions of what they'd like to hear about, or any opinion based, anything, whatever you got? Vanter Lyons, if he drugged his daughter, she wouldn't know. Well, I mean, yeah, I get it, but that's just a little hearsay at best. I mean, okay, then why is Becky having to call them nightly for the wrong info? Oh, if she is, I get it. I don't really know. Gaming, it's there should just be full transparency, like anything else. Everybody should be able to hear what's going on. Justice James, why do you think Richard Allen is innocent? Oh, I'm not saying I feel he's totally innocent. I'm breaking down each day of what I'm seeing from what we're gathering, what's said, and the expert. That's all. I mean, do I think that he did this alone? I don't. I just know how hard it is to control two people at once. It's you don't see it often. You don't see two females, no matter the age, abducted by one person and then murdered. It's very hard to control two people, especially in an area. Yes, on the bridge they're contained. There's only you're not going very far on that bridge running, but after the bridge, there's ways to split, run different directions. There was no blood found on the bridge to where he could have struck one of them in the leg with a knife to injure one, to gain control of the other. Because that's what I always said. I mean, did he gain control by injuring one of them? And there's been nothing that's shown that. So that's just my opinion. Could be different. Yep, he had a gun outside and never fired it, from what we know. Got to remember, right? He had a gun, used the knife, used the blade. Then there was rumor that possibly two blades were used. It's you can't hold all three. Then the round that was ejected out at the scene. There's three reasons why that would happen, right? Three reasons for an ejected round that's unspent. One, he racked it himself. He's been a gun owner for a long time. Before the laws changed there, he had a full carry permit. I just don't see him doing that. He knows there's one in the chamber. You always know when your gun's loaded and ready to go. Two, he fired it and had a malfunction to where the round would turn and sit into the barrel right at the ejector port where you can't fire it. So you have to keep racking it and rack it, because if it's really jammed in there, it's a phase 3 malfunction and you got to fully clear. That would eject it out, but you ejected it out when you did. And three is handing it to somebody else, them not knowing it's loaded, and they rack it to cause fear. That's the only three reasons that an unspent round would be on the floor. That's it. So you tell me which one you think it is.
So he said he was playing with his gun, and that's probably when he lost it. Was it at the top of the bridge or in the crime scene? Because
that doesn't. I mean, at the top of the bridge, that wouldn't make sense. Why would did the bullet fly to the scene?
Pardon? Well, because it would make. The thing is that it would make sense, CD, somewhat, because if he's racking it up top, right? To
do you know how hard when you rack it?
Let me finish my point.
When you rack it, it jumps out. It doesn't like.
Well, that's
fall.
what I'm saying. So listen. CD, listen to me. So if he racks it and it jumps out and he picks it up and he puts it in his pocket, because that happened, and then right, so now it's in his pocket. So that would make sense if it fell out of his pocket while he was maneuvering the girls or whatever, and hence why he didn't notice it. Because I'm pretty darn sure, CD, if he lost it at the crime scene by ejecting it, he would be all over that crime scene looking for that bullet before he got his ass out of there. If he knew it could to the crime scene, that's my thinking with that a little bit. If that's possibly what happened, and that he basically it fell out of his pocket.
I mean, could that be a possibility? Hypothetically, yeah, but.
Well, the bullet was,
and then people try to tie the bullet he has in his hope box in his room, right?
Well,
I believe that was for this. When he put the gun to his head, he saved that because there's a lot of symbolism when it comes to the S word. Sometimes they don't speak words about it. That's why I think that was there. I don't think it has anything to do with the crime, because at the end of the day, why would you keep a round from your gun when you didn't use it? You know what I'm saying? You didn't use your gun to kill the girl. So just doesn't fit for me.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Yes, one man killed multiple victims with a gun to abduct and knife and killed Richard Despy. How did it fall out of his pocket? What do you mean? How did it fall out of his pocket? to speak. What do you mean? How did it fall out of his pocket? I mean, just like anything, you got keys in your pocket or your phone, and it falls out of your pocket. By himself, but to abduct any other girls, wait, with Richard Spected it, haven't had it fall out of his pocket. Like I said, so very easily. When you're in the midst, if you're in the midst of committing a crime and you're moving bodies around, absolutely, can fall out of the pocket. I think that because
I just think that him racking it, knowing it was loaded, it just doesn't make
but
sense.
he did admit that he's not a gun person.
He was though. He's
Not,
had a gun permit for 12 years
but he's
before
not
the
a
law
gun
changed.
person. He said he
What does
wasn't.
that mean? He's not a gun person.
He's not
He
like
had a full
meaning his
carry permit,
part. Yeah, but he never barely ever used
and
that.
so did his wife.
Yeah, but right, but just because they have one doesn't mean that they were gun people. Just
Yeah,
'cause
but
they might have carried,
Sonny,
but that's about it.
you know when your gun's loaded, and not even that. When you go to rack it, you're gonna see you're gonna hear the round eject out. You're gonna hear it.
No, I don't take Richard Allen to be the brightest bulb in this world for sure.
I don't
And
either.
I don't give him credit for that one, CD, on that.
But he
to be
was
honest
very
with you.
good in his interrogations for not the
His
smartest
what?
man. He was very
What?
good in his interrogations for not the smartest man.
I don't think he was, actually. I honestly don't see. I disagree there. I think that after 5.5 years, he wasn't about to admit to shit.
Yeah, but he didn't buckle once. They were trying to trip him up, and there was nothing.
No.
He didn't trip up once. Even
He
when
got
they
5.5
brought his
years.
wife in, thinking
Uh-huh.
that was going to be the moment where he calmed down and would make a mistake, and he didn't. He didn't
Yeah.
slip up wording at all.
I believe Richard Allen is the BG 1,000%.
You saw that guy, right? When I was killing him with kindness, that wacko we brought up. We thought he was going to talk about the case, and he went left
Oh
field
yeah,
and
whack
started
job,
blaming
yeah.
family members. And I was overly nice to him, and I asked him that question. That's just total interrogation. I was overly nice to him to get him to be comfortable, and he almost answered me to admit that he was going to accuse the family, so we could have.
Oh, I know he was about to.
But then he retracted.
Right.
They played every mental mind game with this guy. He didn't. And usually you'll break just somewhere in your story. You'll break something so the door gets opened further for them to really. Holman was just making shit up. And it was angering Richard Allen more than it was making him nervous. Bringing up his gun and then the round, that would make somebody very nervous to where they would shut down and ask for a lawyer. He never asked for a lawyer. He told his wife, ask for a lawyer and then we'll let you go.
5.5 years. 5.5 years. That's what I say on that one. 5.5 years to have a story. 5.5 years. So I'm not seeing it that personal way myself. I get it, CD, because I watch those interrogation videos all the time.
I did interrogations. I'm just giving you my point.
I know.
He didn't.
Just like Alexa Profiler gives her view, but it doesn't mean we all agree.
Yeah, but I sat across from killers, Sonny. I sat across from a delusional killer who basically told me that, yes, I hurt my family, but he's going to see them again tomorrow. He was a nut. He didn't even go to jail. He actually went to a psych hospital. That's what the court did with him because he was a effing lunatic. But I sat with him for 10 hours and just, Mommy's going to be mad at me. Like, dude, Mommy's gone.
My thing
Mommy's
is,
not coming back.
Is that a person doesn't claim to be at the crime scene, self-report on top of that, wear the same clothes and all that. So meaning as a totality of the evidence, absolutely guilty to me. Absolutely.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying in the interrogation scene.
So the interrogation doesn't do anything for me because I get it. So don't get me wrong. I get it, CG, that you're a cop, that you sat in there and stuff like that. I get that. I always go with my gut feeling. And because I already believe that he is the BG based on his confessions and based on what they're showing now and the puzzle pieces fit together for me. So for me, whatever reasoning to me now, it's like, to me, he was probably calm as a cucumber because he's like, he never had
an oh shit moment where he's like,
yeah, but
this is enough. Even if he made up a story and said, this is enough. Now you're trying to accuse me. I want a lawyer. Never happened.
No, but
never happened.
But don't you think though that again, he has watched the case unfold for years. They have 2 fucking sketches of the guy, right? I mean, it's a joke to him. He's probably laughing his ass off just at how badly the case has gone. And he's like, you know what? You guys can't find somebody after 5.5 years, like, and then you
Sonny, they
accuse
brought
me
up his
again?
car passing the farmer's camera. They brought
Okay.
they brought up every piece that they had against him that they put in the probable cause affidavit. The girl saw you on the trail. They went with him on everything, and all I'm saying is he never buckled, never buckled.
Yeah,
And
nuts.
to me, I got to be
What are you
honest, that's
saying?
crazy that he didn't, and that he didn't ask for a lawyer. It's crazy
See,
because time and time again, there would be a mess up. There would
right.
be something that he would slip up and he would make a mistake, and he just
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't. You know, they had him on the 13th, then they got him again on the 26th, and they went with a different angle because being nice and just going at him wasn't good enough. So they went
But
at him at the death penalty's on the table. Didn't ask for an attorney.
but
You know what I'm
at the
saying?
end,
It's
but at the
crazy.
end of the day, if the evidence is there to purport that he is the BG, because it's, you know what I mean? Like, at the end, this case for me is this: is that the BG? Um, there is so much there to stack upon him that says yes, it is, and then to even confess to it and say about the van, all that makes sense to me, all that stuff. But
Yeah.
this case becomes about, to me, even if he was as cool as a cucumber in his interrogations, and it doesn't seem like somebody that would do that, because usually somebody would buckle underneath pressure, and he didn't, and I get that. But to me, this
I'm
case
not,
is,
I'm not, I'm not here saying he's innocent. I'm just saying that
well,
he
right. You're saying he didn't
just,
buckle,
he manned them in those
you know?
he won those interrogations. He did. He did
Oh
without
yeah,
even asking for a lawyer. He
and you
bodied
got
them.
but you got Twiddle fucking D and Dumber over there from
Uh,
LE. Like, they
I,
fucked up so
I
much
agree.
already.
I mean, they
So
should have had whoever does the
yeah.
ISB, the Indiana State Police's homicide guys. That's who should have been interrogating him. But you had Mullen. I mean, Chief Mullen. I mean, this guy's and he
I
retires, and then they hire him
don't
in the
even know.
prosecutor's office. It's crazy. It's just politics there. That's all it is. Mullen was the chief of Delphi, retired, and then he's a special investigator with the with the prosecutor's office. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
that's how they handled it. That's just this is
I
just
ju-
the way they went.
I just feel like this is okay. You know what? I'm just gonna take my verdict right now and say guilty. Whether that comes to fruition or not, that's my hope. That's the vibe I'm putting out to the universe. Guilty. Is that for sure going to happen? No, but that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to bring my faith in that Abby and Libby are going to get the justice that they deserve. There'll still be an appeal, whatever. But I feel like I'm hoping. Okay, let me put it this way: I'm hoping and praying that a guilty plea comes back. Now, again,
Mhm.
what would, to me, what has literally put this case in a sense like on its back is because of all the mistakes being made. And are those mistakes overwhelmingly enough that the jury sees this as, you know what? There's been too many mistakes made in this case. There's too many unknowns. We cannot put this person behind bars because there's just too much there that we don't still know because of all the fuck ups. So,
Yeah.
and that's what I think it might boil down to is how much of a catastrophe did did the LE and all that have with regards to the misfiling? Just like, there's so many holes. There's no DNA at all. Like, come on, like, there's no DNA. And of course,
There's no DNA.
nothing.
Yes, you have him saying he was there, but you had the girls that saw a bridge guy and couldn't point him out and say that was the man, that is the guy on the bridge, that's him. They couldn't do that. That all I'm saying is that, listen,
Well,
I said it from the beginning. I want justice for the girls, for the families. I just don't know if they're over the hump. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know.
well, and that's just it, CD. I feel like this whole case has been a whatever you want to call it, miscarriage
It's a
of justice.
disaster. It's just been a
It's
disaster.
been a joke. It's been a disaster that Doug Carter and the you know anyone that's been involved, not everybody, but a lot of people that have been involved. Again, you go like that person that can't pick up sticks, that person that called
Yep.
off the dogs, that person that literally sat there
And I
and
think Doolin was the guy that told them to go back and take the stick. They did. The
She did.
DEC cop is the one that told them to go back and get the sticks. And
Yeah.
that's why they went back and got them, because they had blood on them.
It's just
What?
ridiculous that
What
they
are we
wouldn't take
doing?
them anyway. I mean, come on
Yeah.
now, it's evidence. It's
Yeah,
literally
that's,
laying on their throats.
It's a
Jenny, do you
wacky state of affair. What?
Is your wife in there or something? I see a
No,
light
no.
flicker.
I'm looking at TV. Trump is coming out, I guess, after the commercial.
Okay, so he's won it now, has he?
The box cutter has him guilty. Well, Bunter Lyons. I got to be honest. Abby's
one is
injury
it?
to me is not from a box cutter. Not a 2-inch gaping hole in her neck. You know, that's blunt force trauma with, you know, at least a 5-inch blade.
No one forgets.
I don't know what does OJ have to do with this. You know.
Well, it's because everyone knows that OJ was guilty and got off.
He
Everyone knows.
was.
Yeah.
He was. The biggest mistake the prosecution made was making him put those gloves on. That was the biggest mistake. That was the FU. He couldn't wait to stand up and put those gloves on. Plus, remember, he stopped taking a certain medicine that made his hands swell. So those gloves definitely weren't going to fit.
Oh yeah, right. Fuck
You
off
know?
with that.
Oh, when you
we
have
don't
the dream
know
team
That it
defending you.
was a box cutter.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Yeah, and
This
we don't
episode,
know
I think
that it
it'll be
was
difficult
actually a box
deliberating.
cutter.
Yeah, Steph, the jury has a big they got a big decision to make coming up, and they've been very good with the questions they ask each person on the stand. They do a great job.
Mm.
You know,
Where
I think it's a tough one.
To the people in chat, where are you guys at with this case? Guilty? What do you want to call it? Guilty, hung jury, or found innocent? Where are you guys at with this case at the moment? Not what you want, but what you think will happen. If you were a juror, where would you be? Not like right. So it's like if I'm a juror, in a sense, based on what I have so far myself, I would say I would vote guilty. I would not say it's not. And it's because I'm just looking at the timeline and I'm looking at what was said, the timeline, the words and everything that came out to actually match pretty much exactly, knowing that there's fucking all these holes. But if I was to vote, but we're biased because we've been watching this case for so long, in a sense. So that's how I feel I would vote. But if I was really not too involved in the Delphi case, that would I be saying the same thing? I don't know. I don't know. So it's kind of hard. Okay, the jury is amazing. Ben says not guilty. Amy says, "Go, Amy, go." What do you say, CJ? Hung, innocent. Stop looking at Trump.
Huh?
Guilty,
Me?
innocent. Yeah, guilty, innocent, or hung jury. No. CD, pay attention to me, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading what it said that Trump won.
Guilty, innocent, or hung jury. What would you call it if you were a juror? Right now.
Right now, I think it's a hung jury.
Yeah, that's what I say.
No, I truly think it's going to come down to the closing arguments. Really do.
Yeah,
it's going to come down to if Nick can close this the right way,
right.
Because I think the defense has done an excellent job to counter everything that the prosecution put out.
I mean,
it's going to come down to his final statement. That's just my opinion.
I asked you this earlier, and I don't remember your answer. I said that there's a psychologist that's on the panel, knowing that this case is about mental health issues, and that really is, just like there's a defense and a prosecution person that's talking about mental health issues and how he's faking it. The other one says he's not, blah, 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 blah. Anyways, knowing that there's a psychologist on the jury panel, knowing that they could sway people. Do you think that that's going to have a big impact, that they're going to look to that
Yeah,
person for a lot of guidance?
yeah. I think he's going to take the state's witness, the Dr. Walla, and he's going to feel that that's tainted.
Mm-hmm.
The full opinion is tainted because her being in Facebook sites and talking about the people she followed. She named a whole bunch of different channels. I just think that hurts her whole case. And I think the person that was on yesterday, the woman from Harvard and Indiana University, I think she was very well spoken, and I just feel she was believable. You know, the
Well,
whole thing is that I just think I think that right now it could be a hung jury. That's just my opinion.
I do
You know,
feel
when you hear Andrea's response of when the videos were played, how the jury members, each one of them was responding. One couldn't even look, and she couldn't even see the screen as to what they were seeing. But so basically while that was going on, she couldn't see anything, so she just sat and watched what
the jurors.
they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
tough to watch, no matter what. It's tough to watch a man
well, I was going
doing
to
what he
say
was
that
doing, butt naked. He was basically being humiliated. He was dragged on. I heard one day
right.
one of the media was able to see the laptop screen, and he was being dragged through the jail, and then they had a spit hood on him while he was shackled. You know, it's just that's going to go a long way. And plus, they couldn't hear the audio, so they couldn't hear if he was acting, how crazy he was acting. They were just seeing without audio, and I think not having the audio hurts. And that was Judge Gull. I don't believe she would let them play the audio, because anything he said was considered hearsay, so that she wouldn't
Right.
allow the audio from it.
Yeah,
So,
and then because I think it put him in a predicament that then he would have to take the stand.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
can't force somebody to take the stand.
Westcott was for the defense. That's correct, right? Westcott was yesterday. She was for the defense.
Yeah, defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's her name. That's the woman that's like I guess
Melissa
people.
says that the jury loved her.
Yeah, well, she was also, I guess, on another trial, and she wore some kind of leather trench coat. People were like, "Did she wear the leather trench coat?" Like, she got like fans. It's so crazy. It's just crazy how there's just fan people out there. This case is so real, and people just don't take it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
banter Lions. Hung during his next trial, Allen gets the death. Yeah, I just don't know where they're coming up with the money for a second trial. I just don't. This trial's costing a lot of money.
yeah, on there. I'm gonna get ready to call it a night, CD, here in a second.
Yeah,
I'm fucking wiped.
Yeah, I gotta just take some notes tomorrow of just the last week of just pieces, and we'll go back
Me
over them this
too.
week.
I definitely need to go listen to all today's testimony. Now, I know that Ivy asked you if you talked about the headphones, and
Yeah.
we have vaguely, but go ahead. Can you repeat that a little bit?
The iPhone 6S had I don't believe it had any waterproofing. Was like IP65. I don't even think it had that. So I do think that the water getting into the headphone jack could have caused it to respond that way. Because basically all it has to have is just a little wetness get in there, and it would come up on the screen and say like audio, aux advice plugged in, but doesn't mean it's plugged in. So I think that is reliable. But the way he didn't know the answer, so he Googled it. And when he retook the stand, he basically gave it as, well, when I Googled it, this is what it said. And that it sounded ridiculous when he was asked, well, do you Google for your testimony answers? So the whole thing is like, they're just very good at combating, anything negative. They've been very good at it. And, that's just their job. And I know people are like, oh, F them. Listen, that's their job is to get their client off. That's just what their job is. Oh, so Trump's going to be coming out. So let's get off. I know you're going to finish, but let me get off, and I got to go wake my wife up to watch.
Yeah, you go. Let's go do that. Hey,
right.
You can head off now. CD, thank you so much. But
you got it. We'll do this again this week. I'll touch base with you whenever you're going to go back on. And I just want to take notes because I got a lot to say.
I mean, Saturday I'm free. Friday I'm not because we're on the Drunk Turkey Show, me and Alexa, and I have to go to the doctor's in the morning. But Saturday I'm free if there's a time that you do want.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll make it work.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Good
Have
night,
a good night. Thanks, CD.
You got it.
Thank you, guys.
See you later. Bye.
Thanks again to CD. Thanks again to Gaming and Sleuthing. With all of that, thank you guys for your thoughts. and opinions on this case. I mean, yeah, I have to really go listen today and see what all came out. But from what I did read while I was on my lunch, um, as for that whole headset going in and out of there, like I said, I'm sorry. To me, that's like trying to have your cake and eat it too. The phone doesn't move, doesn't take any more steps. Somebody's going to come plug the phone in or whatever, or take it out and plug it back in at 10 o'clock at night. I'm sorry, but digital data is only as good as digital data. There's so many errors in technology, it's beyond belief, right? I mean, freaking even some of the gaming sites that I play at, it's just a joke how many hiccups it has. And it keeps telling me, you know, you're not allowed to play this game, unless you're in the country. Really, because I'm in fucking Canada and my thing says allow. So as for technology, I'm sorry, it is good to a point, but it's not one of those things where I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I totally believe that. And this particular case, when it comes to the thing injecting whatever, like I said, go Google search it yourself. iPhones have seem to have a history of making it seem like your headphones are in then out when it's not really true. Um, how does plugging the phones in cause steps? It's not about causing steps, but it's going to have movement. But that's just the thing is that do you honestly think that somebody came back at 5:50, 5:44, and somebody came back at 10 o'clock that night to unplug and plug it back in and stuff like that? And I mean, it's one of those things of really, I mean, do you think, if, according to the defense, if the bodies were freaking moved back there, the phone would have kept on going past that point? And if it was turned back, like all I'm trying to say is that technology is only as good as it is. I mean, obviously something clearly happened. And I think it's all going to simply boil down to the phone was there in the same spot it was. It's giving, like most technology, I'm not buying the whole that someone had inserted and then injected on there, just like I'm not buying that at 3:44 or 3 whatever 23 whatever the fuck time it was, that somebody came back and placed it under the phone underneath of Abby's leg. It doesn't make sense at all. Um it, it just doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, then I can't buy into it. So, but that's just my thoughts. At the end of the day, I mean, maybe to the defense it will matter. To me, it doesn't matter because at the moment, this is about Richard Allen, whether you believe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people or not. Richard Allen is the one that's on trial. Was Richard Allen on the bridge? Did he place himself there? Is that him? Will the jury see through all of that and the confessions, or will they not? Or will they believe that what the defense is putting out there and whatever shit stinks is going down? Is there enough evidence to convict Richard Allen based on the prosecution's arguments, or is there not? Right? And again, it was just going to come down to the jury. So all those other things are minor details to me. How the phone got underneath Abby's leg, the phone, whatever. Those are just to me minor details. What's Richard Allen, the BG, and did he kill those 2 girls? That's the only questions I need answered. Like, I feel like the motive was answered. I feel, with the serial assault, I feel like it perfectly makes sense about the whole van, seeing it being spooked, about why the bridge or the creek was crossed and stuff like that. It makes sense rationally to me. Doesn't mean everything's, the phone underneath the leg and stuff. That's weird. Why is it underneath of Abby's leg? How did it get underneath Abby's leg? Did Libby give her the phone? Did it come out of the pocket? Like, how did it even get underneath the leg? That's weird to me. I don't know. A phone expert on the jury. There won't be any movement if you pick it up and put it back down. No, it's not that I'm trying to equate about steps. It's more that I'm trying to equate that. Do you honestly believe, that somebody came in at 5:44, plugged in her headset, and then somebody came back at 10:33 and took them out, and stuff like that? Like, are you actually buying that, knowing that there's searchers all around still looking for the girls? Okay. So, but people around me go, well, see, you know what? I was right about Pat Brown the whole entire time. Must have been him for sure. But anyways, you guys, there's more just things for this case. Timeline, bullet, confessions, another I can't remember. Self-reporting. Self-reporting, would that be the main one? Because that to me is a main one. The self-reporting of himself for that same time twice. Mm, uh, could be. That's just it. It could be. Did Richard Allen really not see a phone on the ground there? Maybe he did and didn't care about it because he didn't think he was even being recorded. But if I saw a phone and I did a crime, I sure would be taking that phone with me. But then again, he doesn't want the phone to be traced, so the phone would have to be turned off because you wouldn't want it pinging and following your movements. So that'd be pretty stupid to take that. Right. Her life was taken in the clothes that she was wearing. So basically, she put on Libby's clothes, and she was wearing Libby's clothes. Well, besides the top. They'll try to impeach Trump again, probably. Well, anyways, I was going towards Trump anyway myself. Not like I think the dude is an absolute narcissistic, arrogant, um, gaslighting piece of shit. Don't get me wrong. I think Trump is so fucking full of himself that he's up his own ass about times 10. I'm amazed he hasn't made it, and if he already has, I'm amazed he hasn't made a gold statue of himself, to be honest with you. But there's something about Trump, even though he might be all these things that I can't stand in a person. Um, I personally just kind of feel like, I don't know. When you like watch, for me, Kamala, it's like, I just feel like saying, you know what, shut up. I don't even want to listen to you. Same way I felt about Hillary Clinton. Maybe, I don't know if it's a female thing that I can't stand, that I'd probably rather listen to a male than a female, when they're talking for some reason. Sorry, just calling it like it is. But there's something about those two women that Kamala, when they open up their mouths, I just see bullshit. Like, if I would say that I really like a certain woman, it would be Obama's wife. I think that she was really nice. I think that she was really sincere and genuine. Hillary Clinton and Kamala there, they don't strike me as genuine. They strike me as people that sell you shit to get what their needs, in a sense. Whereas I think that Donald Trump, honestly, I don't even know what to say about him. I mean, the dude acts like he's 2 years old half the time, twittering shit and calling people fat pigs and stuff like that from the other election. I don't know. But either way, I feel like Trump will do a better job than Kamala, to be honest, in his own different way. I think that Trump, to me, was the way to go. Well, we're not into politics on this channel. Yeah, that's right, because you're going for Kamala, aren't you? Aren't you, Ivy? On there. Yeah. You don't like women. No, it was women. It's not that I don't like women. I just, there's people that irritate me that are in these roles. And Hillary Clinton, to me, was just a lying, like a lying bitch. That's all I seen from her myself. And I just can't stand Hillary Clinton. She's a full on fake liar to me. And Kamala, I can't speak to her as much, but there's something about her I can't stand either. So if I had to pick between the two, I'd, for some reason, pick Trump, just like I would pick Trump when it was with Hillary Clinton. Now, if it was Trump and maybe someone a little bit more reasonable, I don't know, you know, but I was expecting Trump to win myself. But I'm a Canadian, so I can say what I want. It's not my freaking president. You guys are the ones that have to live with whatever president you choose over there. Banter Lions, you know that your name is truly badass, right? Badass American. And wipe Obama is man love Trump. LOL, I take women's rights to vote away. Drag me by my hair. I don't know. Like I said, lots of times females can irritate me, in a lot of ways. And they just come off as like whiny freaking fakes. Um, Even men too, but there's something sometimes about women. I don't know. It's like they got a point to prove, some of them, but I don't know what it is. Hillary Clinton, the minute she opened up her mouth, it was like listening to a gnat fucking at my ear. I just can't stand her. Um, and Kamala, honestly, I think what it is that whenever I feel someone's talking like shit, then like and they're bullshitting people, and they're just trying to get their votes, to sway people, in a sense. Like basically, Trump is like, like, this is what I'm gonna do. Probably do what he says. Hello. Oh,
Just wanted to show off my hat.
Make America great again.
I heard you talking. I had to show you it.
Is he still is he still following, or like, is he still wearing his hats that say "Make America"?
Where is
great
it? Right? Wait. I don't know. It's not turning right. There we go. All right. Just want to show you that. Good night.
Night down
Bye.
there. Well, it's because I don't like idiots, or when people are talking like idiots, in a sense. And I mean, anyone that knows this case knows that Doolin was a big idiot and a fuck up. But maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Maybe I did. Do I care? Probably not. It's been a long day. I'm tired. When I see kind of stupid like what I deem as stupid comments, and I think the Doolin, like, saying, well, I can't remember what it was, and that he's not an idiot, no, because he didn't have his facts straight on that. And if you're gonna say something, then at least back it up with at least realistic shit than saying 10,000 interviews that he's done and stuff like that. That's not even true. We're talking about in the first few days of when they were looking for the BG. So if you're gonna spew out facts and then say that he's not an idiot, yeah, I'm sorry, but so anyways, so maybe I did overreact, maybe I didn't. I don't know. I don't even care, actually. Too tired to care. Trump, no wars, low gas, low taxes. Yeah, well, whoever you picked, either you're having a good day or a sad day, one of the two. On there. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna call it a night. Don't forget. So tomorrow is what? Tomorrow's Wednesday? Hump day. Tomorrow's hump day. So I don't know. We'll see what's going on in court. At least I'll be working from home tomorrow, so I can at least, pay more attention here a little bit, after on my lunches and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, we'll see what tomorrow brings and see what else comes out. Well, we are emotional. Duh. Our brains are totally wired different than men's. But there is a reason that man comes after woman. There's a reason for that, though. I'll say that. And it's because women, like, we are truly, like, no offense, but men should really bow down to us for the most part, because we are like the freaking best multitaskers over men any day. We do multiple things at one time. We think about everything coming up. We are amazing creatures, to be honest, as females. Yeah, just feel free to say thank you for being a female, to be honest. But are we emotional? Absolutely. It's in our genes, really. Yeah. I'll never claim never to be emotional, because I run by my emotions. You wouldn't want me running the country. I'd be sitting there going, button today? Oh, you're pissing me off. Oh, fuck you. Oh, should I? Yeah. But tomorrow is Trump Day. Well, you guys, for those who did vote for Trump, you guys, go celebrate all that stuff and to rejoice. And for ones that voted for Kamala and she didn't get elected, well, go grab yourself a box of tissues or something. I don't know. Anyways, you guys have a great night. See you guys tomorrow night, okay? Have a good one. And thanks, mods. Thanks, Ben, Sharon, all the mods that are in there, Ivy, and Gaming and Sleuthin. And hi, you're back. Nope, I'm leaving. Yeah, bye, Steffa. If you're feeling in love, just bye, Steffa. Bye, Gaming and Sleuthin. Bye, Melissa. On that, and I can multitask you. Oh, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Don't even put yourself in the same league that way. Anyways, you have a good night. Bye-bye. I just gotta find my, I don't know. Just gotta find my branding. Where is it? Whoops. I feel like I'm missing it. Comments. Why? Okay, wait, maybe I need to go back here. Nope. Wait, I need to go here. Ah, there we go. It's StreamYard, right? When they're putting up little extra playthings that you normally don't have. I was like, wait, how do I get back to my extra outro? Okay, bye guys. See you tomorrow night. Have a good one. Been a slice.